shot and stand up to your feet.
Well, there we go. We're coming to the end of round one now. Two high-level strikers. They showed us some excellent ground, both defensively and offensively. And Murabak also showed us he's got a chin as well. Took that right hand. We might see it again.
That was the first exchange where Dennis came forward, threw a flow. Murabak tried to catch him with that truck hook, stepping back, and there he fired a jab again. They're using great angles, but then all of a sudden when it comes time to attack, they line right up in front of you and dodge forward. And that leaves them open to shots like that, where the guy knows exactly where you're going to be. Dennis timed it perfectly the overhand right, but Murabak did a phenomenal job of being stunned, surviving. It's not even just on bottom for the rest of the round. Was only on bottom for what, about 15, 20 seconds? And then went to attack, uses submission to pull into a sweep to get up on top, and then from there was able to just smother and maul and really work on Dennis's cardio. Dennis was on the bottom, constant fight to get back up to his feet or to push off great space. That wears your legs out. As far as both fighters, they're in a much better position to keep up with that type of pace of fight, where he was at on his knees driving forward. What Dennis was doing as a jiu-jitsu guy, that's fatiguing. To constantly be using your guard to push a guy off, try to create space. It just really makes your legs almost feel like rubber when you first get back up in the second round. We'll see how Dennis's legs are able to recover in this next go out.
And we're set for that one. Round two kicks off. Dennis Chililian in the blue corner. Murabak Shoev in the red. That was a hell of a pace for a first round for fighters in the welterweight division as well. Cautious start, as they did in the first round, feeling each other out. Now it's really a case of pick your poison for Dennis, really. If he wants to take him down, he's got to make sure he doesn't end up on bottom. He's felt how heavy and strong and what control Murabak has on top.
Murabak has a great long reach. He's using it right now to clinch and lock up the body. But Dennis did a phenomenal, great job of pulling his hips back, getting to the cage to avoid that. Look, he's pushing out. If he can keep an underhook right now, now he lost the underhooks. He's going to get whipped down off the cage.
There we go. And now Dennis is back in that position. Really is a mirror image of the fight back in December 2015. Back here. Strong performance from Murabak, showing the versatility, not just that one dimensions that maybe a lot of people who prepare for it might be thinking he's a taekwondo striker. There's a really high quality grappling and good technique here as well.
What I see too is somebody who has even more upside and more potential than what he's actually showing here, because Murabak, for all his taekwondo accolades, I don't really see any of it right now.
Yeah.
We're really seeing, great grappling, his takedowns, his control on top, his ground and pound. But even his stance on his feet is more resemblance of a Thai boxer. His shoulders are square, the way he's moving. So as he develops and gets more comfortable with MMA, it'll be interesting to see how he's able to pull that background that he has in Taekwondo and convert it to be able to utilize some of the technique he's probably used his whole life and be able to really capitalize on it here.
Setting those hooks nicely as well, getting to the back. That Thai boxing you're talking about might be a fact he trains out, aka Thailand, but showing
a lot of trouble.
Supreme jiu-jitsu as well here now.
He's getting flattened out right now. Might be a situation where he's going to stop him because he's just not able to get his hips underneath of him to move out.
Oh, look at this.
Perfect for a naked choke. That's as good as that gets.
And look how quickly he puts Dennis out, and the crowd are on their feet. The crowd are on their feet.
That went out so fast because it was so clean. That was about a beautiful rear naked choke that I've seen live.
Stunning transition
to a body lock. Going off, used it again here, and step behind. Here you saw the great ground and pound and control Murabak showed throughout this whole fight. Here he steps back, looks like he's threading a foot, used a knee to the side of the leg, push him down. Great job of putting the hooks and flattened them out. Used a perfect way to set it up. 3 punches. Dennis had no choice but to panic and try to give up. And the rear naked choke was on for maybe 3 or 4 seconds. But when it's done perfectly as he just applied it, it completely cuts the blood off to the brain and you lose consciousness.
What a performance. Murabak Shoev. has given the Tajikistan, the Dushanbe crowd here exactly what they wanted. A stellar opening to this event here at ACB 55.
Время остановки боя 2 минуты и 24 секунды второго раунда. Удушающим приемом победу одержал и аплодисменты его сопернику из России Денису Чулюлину. И фото на память, фото сделайте, ребята.
Tough opponent there, but Murabakshaw, despite being out of the cage for over a year, just made that look like a walk in the park.
Yeah, perfect. Pressure throw with the hips. His head was on the correct side, speaking about Murabakshaw, and the choke couldn't have been any better.
Дамы и господа, Лига ACB представляет вам трехраундовый поединок в полулегком весе. И в синий угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из Японии. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the blue corner from Japan, Taichi Nakashima!
Well, how do you follow a performance like that for our first fight? Next up, we've got two very experienced, very technical fighters making their way to the cage. Taichi Nakajima from Japan, coming off the back of one of the best performances of his career back at ACB 45. It was like watching a different fighter. This young man is primarily a karate taekwondo specialist, and he went head-to-head with one of the best grapplers in ACB. Out-grappled him, controlled, and almost changed his demeanor. He was getting bullied by some of these Russians before, and he didn't let that happen. And at the weigh-ins last night, his opponent here, Rajabali, got in his face, and he was having none of that as well. It looks like he's turned the corner, not physically, but mentally, and that's a great thing to see in a young fighter.
Taichi now is learning how to really bring up the other aspects of the game so that he can utilize everything else. So I'm really excited to see him fight tonight, knowing that his grappling has come up to such a level that that's no longer going to be somewhere his opponents can feel is a safety zone. Sometimes when you are a little bit on the one-dimensional side, guys are going to purposely go where they feel safest with you. You know, you're always going to take a guy and put him out of his backyard, you know, take him into your waters. And so now we get to see all the various kicks, spinning movements that he's actually known for.
В красный угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из Таджикистана. Приветствуйте, Файси Раджабали!
So here he comes, getting a great reception. Faizi Rajabali, Tajikistan's own, making his way to the cage. Combat Sambo specialist. So you know what his game plan is going to be, to try and close that distance, to try and negate the movement, negate the long length, the big kicks, the good jab of Taichi Nakajima. He's 2-1 in his current things. He's going up against someone who's much more experienced, but that's 2-1 in MMA. In Sambo, that is not what he is. He competes regularly, and you're looking at somebody who's competed well over 100 times in high-level Sambo competitions.
And combat Sambo is extremely similar to MMA. I think out of some of the combat sports, individuals who have a lot of experience in combat Sambo have the easiest time converting over to MMA, because they have obviously the throws, the takedowns, the wrestling, they have submissions, a lot of leg attacks, and on top of that, they have strikes. They'll throw hands. They put the little 4-ounce gloves on, and they have so as far as converting over to MMA, all those fights he had as an amateur in the combat Sambo converts over very easily. Very little changes need to be made for him.
Great reception.
Итак, знакомьтесь с соперниками. Боец в синем углу, fighting out of the blue corner. Ему 28 лет, рост 172 сантиметра, вес 66 килограммов ровно. 28 years old, he stands 172 centimeters tall, official weight 66 kilograms even. Профессиональный рекорд 18 боев, 11 побед, 7 поражений. His professional record 18 pounds, 11 victories and 7 losses. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу. Ladies and gentlemen, he's style with Brazilian jiu-jitsu, representing Tokyo, Japan, Taiji Nakashima! Его соперник в красном углу. Бойцу 23 года, рост 174 сантиметра, вес 65,7 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 3 боя, 2 победы, 1 поражение. Его стиль ММА. Дамы и господа, из Душанбе, Республика Таджикистан, Файзи Раджабали! Рефери поединка Ашот Ашигян.
Listen to my comment. No fighting, stop comment. Okay, my friend. Yes, his elbow. Shahan. Good luck.
Okay. Looked like Rajabali wanted to get right in his face. He was met by a handshake by Taichi Nakajima. Nakajima in the blue corner, Rajabali in the red. Nice inside leg kick to start us off. Little feints here and there from Faizi. Trying to read Nakajima when it can come in, maybe get that clinch. There is an aggressive way, and this is quite a tentative start from both fighters.
Well, Taichi's doing a good job. See how his right leg is loaded, his hand is up? He blocked that shot. He's loaded for right hand, and I feel Faizi sees that.
Faizi, that's exactly what he was looking for. Oh, big suplex there.
Great throw as far as dramatic to the fans, but wasn't able to control him great on the ground, so he might have to go and use the energy again to go for another takedown. He's slowly using the cage to try to scoop up on the hooks. Taichi's doing a good job of rotating on his right hip to try to drive, and he sees, well, now he moved his hand up. Now that's why that hook came in.
Looking to turn it around, maybe come up with
his underhook. He'll be able to move up on top of that position.
Look at that.
Taichi was able to sweep over. Faizi made a mistake of going off the back, and then he reached for the shoulder. You see right now, if I reach for your shoulder before you reach for me, your hand is closer to my armpit now. You just lift your arm up and you have an underhook.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we just saw right there.
And those are the little incremental...
Wow, nice battle right there.
Those are the incremental changes that you've seen in Nakajima over the 3 fights I've seen him in now.
That was great grappling defense right there, and turn around and offense.
And composure as well. Sometimes when you know you've got a high-level submission specialist on your back, you can panic and that can cause you more troubles, but that demeanor that Nakajima carries into the cage, that benefits him tenfold.
And as long as nothing dry, he gets caught with something, his style expends a lot less energy. You see how he's got a good base. Most of the time his hand is loaded, ready to go. Faizi's jumping around a lot, using more energy to come in, and if you get success with it, it's a good gamble. Problem is, if your opponent's doing less than you're doing, and you're not scoring and making him pay for that, well, it might end up costing you as you're kind of like racing and you're on the outside of the track. If you're winning, that's fine, but if you're not and you're even, yeah, that's another high energy throw that really didn't yield any kind of benefit.
He's gone for flamboyance over control on that one.
Oh, that body kick.
Nakajima's got some wonderful body kicks. Finished his last one with a spinning heel kick to the body.
What a lateral throw.
Wow.
But Taichi has the underhook.
Look at this. I told you he doesn't get bullied anymore.
No, he's doing all the basic, simple battles, and that's what he's winning. Faizi's doing some really nice high-level throws. I mean, we're talking about some major points if this was a freestyle match, but they're not controlling. He's not getting the benefits. It might be being rewarded by the judges, they might be seeing it as that he's doing more. But as far as psychologically, like, okay, now I have my moment to punish my opponent, or I have my moment to catch my breath because I'm in a dominant position, he's not getting there. And you almost saw that desperation a little bit when he got up to his feet. He ducked his head, he threw an overhand right, and right now, he needs to find some way that he wins these simple battles, because right now, Taichi's winning the easy battles. Again,
and gets mad. Look at that transition.
He tried using an inside leg grip to throw him over the top.
Alongside his karate taekwondo, he's also a black belt in judo.
Well, that was not good going. And now he has a solid mount.
And he's taking his time. This is the thing I like about Taichi now. He gets a position, doesn't waste it. He will work to control the opponent. He's only got 50 seconds to do something, but in the eyes of the judges, finishing a round on top like this is certainly going to be a standout moment.
Yeah, and Bazi's panicking. You see right now, look at the tension in his arms. Yeah. Locking up and holding. He almost looked like he was going to try to throw him off of him from the top, or from the bottom, and expend a lot of energy. He's still trying to do it in the way he's got the right arm of Taichi wrapped up. Now he's using a little bit less energy. But he sacrificed a double underhook body. Like, that was actually a good stalling hold he had there. And now he's just, again, a young guy who's expending a lot of energy and not getting a lot of results.
And Taichi looking like he was going to throw up the mounted triangle in the last few seconds as well. Another great technical battle, and I think the game plan's quite obvious from Faizi. He wants that clinch, but when you've got plan A, but you haven't really got a plan B, that can be frustrating, and this is where his corner are going to really have to work on him, because everywhere he's gone, every time, if you look at these battles, Taichi has come out of them almost on top of it in every instance.
Taichi's winning the basics, whereas Faizi's winning the very eye-appealing aspects of it. But really, you know, Faizi, if I was in his corner, I would tell him, like, look, let's no more high-elevation throws. Yeah. Let's do simple mat returns. Yeah. You know, pop your hips a little bit, get his feet, you know, Taichi's feet to move to the side. Let's return him to the mat straight down so that we can cover our opponent, control him, and catch our breath. No more of these. They look great, but he's not been able to capitalize there. He had a great lateral drop, but Taichi used the momentum of the throw, had a far side underhook, rotated his hips under, and got up on top. And here you see Faizi tried to go for kind of like an Uchimata type of throw on the judo expert Taichi, and Taichi just sprawled out, was able to land on top and avoid being tossed over, and was able to acquire the mount for the last minute of that fight.
Round two kicks off. Faizi in the red corner.
The only thing Taichi is doing that's making me a little bit nervous. Maybe he's comfortable with his distance, but his left hand is really low for a guy that's already shown that he's gonna, when he gets pushed, he's gonna respond with that overhand right. And he's also circling towards that right. Nice side kick.
That side kick, full power.
And that side kick, the way he elevated his hip up, that might not have came out as side kick. He had such great control that when he came up into the stance and brought his leg up, he could have changed that to a real kick or hook kick. And we might see that start to evolve as the fight goes on, because it wasn't like when his foot left the mat, it didn't look like he was 100% committed to a side kick. He kind of picked it up, read what Faizi was going to do, and then planted that. There's that overhand
right, as you called it. But Taichi, very difficult to finish, never been KO'd. All of his losses are by decision as well. So, and this style, he's got that moving forward.
But what I would tell if I was Taichi is, like, you're right. Hey, buddy, you know, I know you have a hell of a chin, but when your opponent scores, when Faizi right now lands that right hand, and it kind of moves you a little bit, even if it doesn't, it gives him energy, gives him hope. Yeah. Don't let your guy feel that. Like right now, let him feel desperate. Let him feel that there's no hope in this fight. That's the psychological aspect of fighting also, is that even if he doesn't hurt you, why let your opponent have that small victory? Though I landed a shot. Because psychologically, that's going to increase his resolve. It's like, oh, I might still be able to win this fight. I might still be in this. And then all of a sudden he goes, I am in this. I will win this fight. You don't want your guy thinking that. You want him looking for the door.
So often you see battles in MMA, the slight switches in momentum, those little grains of confidence can change a fighter. And now Taichi looking up with his own throw there, very nice.
Yeah, that leg wrap right there, it sometimes works against the cage. Very difficult because essentially you're on one foot and your opponent has both feet on the ground.
you have to be a really tricky, or basically there has to be a drastic difference in the skill levels of two guys to pull that move off. That was a very low percentage maneuver.
That could come into the experience. Taiji Nakajima, this is his 19th fight, just the 3rd fight in the cage here for Sambo expert Faizi.
Faizi, great balance on top, a little bit of forward pressure. He's now trapped out with that underhook. Let's see if he's going to drive that. He's in the half guard now. If he can pop his knee on the other side of the rib cage, and he has a deep underhook. He has Faizi's right arm, completely incapacitated right now. It's up over high, and now he mounts it. Textbook, very good basics. If you're watching at home right now, this is good grappling. This is exactly how it should be. Low energy cost. He's highly effective. Great rewards for you.
There he goes.
Oh.
Talk about fundamental. Now he's looking to lock up that mounted triangle.
That foot with his left hand before he goes over. Faizi might be in trouble.
Oh, Faizi turns and somehow pops his head out. But Nakajima straight back on top.
Cut through the half guard with an inside knee slice. You see now how he's wrapping with his right arm between the legs. Kind of call that a Navy right in wrestling. Oh, he has the Kimura locked up, but he's too high up. He's going to have to sprawl back down. Now Faizi's in trouble. If he can face away, yep.
He steps over now. Yeah, this is it. This is deep. This is deep.
Taichi's kind of high, but he's got him.
Wow, what a finish there. Taiji Nakajima. Another statement in this ACB league. Look at this. He's going for a victory lap round the cage. A stunning performance there. And like you said, it was almost fundamentals against flashiness, wasn't it? The big throws and fighting, and the basics, the fundamentals coming through Taiji Nakajima that put on a great display. In control for the whole of that fight, really.
He did. I mean, Faizi was a good fighter. He has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. Some of the throws he was doing would take years for guys to learn. But Taiji has all the basics down packed.
And you can see exactly what it means to Taiji Nakajima. I'll talk us through this.
He's got the Kimura a little bit high, but he was able to fold the arms out. So almost an escape. But see how he has pressure down on the body, trying to block him, and he was able to rotate that arm under, puts an extreme amount of pressure on the shoulder, and it's one of the more vicious submissions that we have in the MMA world.
One you know a lot about as well.
Yeah, it's one of my... I'm more fond of that move than others.
Дамы и господа, время остановки боя 3 минуты и 41 секунда второго раунда. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time 3 minutes and 41 seconds of round number 2. Болевым приемом на руку Кимура победу одержал. And your winner by submission victory, Kimura Taiji Nakajima, Japan. И аплодисменты его сопернику Файзи Раджабали, Таджикистан.
Great finish, great performance, and that's 2 back-to-back victories and 2 very impressive back-to-back victories against what was his kryptonite, submission grappling experts.
Дамы и господа, Лига ACB в прямом эфире на телеканале Бокс ТВ представляют нам 3-раундный бой в легчайшем весе. И в синий угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из Чехии. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the blue corner from Czech Republic, Filip Matek.
New, hey, big trash. Y'all know how this shit go, you know. All eyes on you. Roll up in the club. All eyes on me.
So we keep the fights moving here at ACB 55 in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Filip Matek making his way to the ACB cage. One of an ACB fan favourite. Broke a 3-fight losing streak against Hamid Sultanbayev. Very impressive fight as well. Took the victory in the 3rd round. Just 10 seconds left on the clock, I believe. But he's a fighter that comes to fight. He gets the fight out of his opponents, and he's up against Shamil Shabakatov this evening, and he's somebody that goes to a lot of decisions. Now this is interesting for me because Filip Matek is so game. He's got a great corner there as well. Good, impressive team.
very well-rounded fighter. You can see that he likes to finish, comes from that aggressiveness that you're talking about. But out of his 12 finishes, out of his 15 victories, 9 are by submission. But he doesn't get the submission by catching you or looking for you to make an easy mistake. He's the kind of fighter that causes those mistakes to occur. He drives on you, forces you, relentless with pressure so that you're trying to escape and trying to catch a breath, trying to create room, and that's where he looks to grab and lock on and finish the fight.
And so well-rounded as well. I mean, it's almost the cliche talking about MMA fighters like that now, but he's evolved from somebody who was that submission specialist, having great hands, some good kicks.
Well, and I love the fact that we do say that more often now. It's almost like 15 years ago when we were like, well, this guy's a striker, this guy's a grappler, striker versus striker, grappler versus striker, grappler versus grappler. And now we actually don't say that, but to me that's a testament to how martial arts now in MMA has evolved, is that we pretty much, everybody's well-rounded. I mean, we just saw Taichi pulling off grappling moves very effectively against a high-level grappler. Nowadays, it's just everybody knows everything. It's what your preferences are.
В красный угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из России. Дамы и господа, встречайте Шамиль Шахбулфатов!
So it will be a Czech Republic battle against Russia as Shamil Shakhbullatov makes his way to the cage. Last performed at ACB 47 in Glasgow. That was back in October 1st of 2016. A tough fight against Arturo Chavez, but showed the grittiness, showed how difficult of an opponent he is. His last 6 fights, 6 wins, 4 of them are decisions, and that's a testament to how hard he is, how tough he is. Whenever he's down in Arturo Chavez, he got dropped. He came under a lot of pressure. He fought through that and was able to take that decision victory. And that is a big attribute. That is a huge one.
I think so. As a coach of a young fighter, I know that everybody wants to see those quick submissions, quick knockouts. But I think, especially early in your career, it's always nice to have W's. I mean, let's go home and pick apart what we need to improve upon after you have a win. But I like decision victories, not so much because I want you to fight for decision. It's more time inside the cage. It's more practice, you're clocking more hours. If you're a pilot, you want flight time, right?
Absolutely,
So as a fighter, you want fight time. Well, if you only have 7 fights, but they all have gone to decision, that's not such a bad thing because you're early in your career, but you've clocked a lot of rounds. Whereas another guy who's only 6-1, let's say they're all 6 finishes. First round, second round, it's like, damn. You know, he's had 7 fights, but we only have really like 8 or 9 rounds of fighting under our belt. Not as favorable.
Итак, знакомьтесь, боец в синем углу, fighting out of the blue corner. Ему 25 лет, рост 170 сантиметров, вес 61,7 килограмма. 25 years old, he stands 170 centimeters tall, official weight 61.7 kilograms. Профессиональный рекорд 26 боев, 15 побед, 11 поражений. His professional record 26 bouts, 15 victories and 11 defeats. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Prague, Czech Republic, please welcome Filip Mace. И его соперник в красном углу. Бойцу 24 года. Рост 175 сантиметров, вес 61,4 килограмма. Его профессиональный рекорд 7 боев, 6 побед и только 1 поражение. Его стиль ММА. Дамы и господа, из Грозного, Россия, встречайте Шамиль Шахбулфатов! Рефери поединка Виктор Корнеев.
Already you can see the intensity from Filip Maček in the blue corner. Shamil Shakhbullatov in the red corner.
I think on this one I'm going to go with last names, a little less syllables.
We'll go Filip and Shamil. There we go.
First name to last name, depending which one I'll maul the least.
Well, I'm also not going to let that analogy of fight and flight go unpraised, my friend. That was a wonderful.
Yeah, you like that one?
That was good.
I've been known to pull a good analogy here and there.
Very, very impressive. Always good to call the fights here. Frank Mir next to me, Brian Lacey at ACB 55 in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Shamil often switches stances as well, shows a different look. Applies the pressure. Likes to catch kicks as well. Watch him, if Filip Majcek goes for body kicks, watch Shamil catch those, turn the corner and try and get on top. One of his favorites.
Well, it was wrestlers, guys with a grappling background, learn how to step off the power impact of a kick and catch it. Really, to them, they look at it as probably a bonus, because their whole life they're used to trying to get somebody who has a low center of gravity, grab their leg, rip it up off the ground, and then start manipulating. Here they have a situation where essentially somebody is throwing their leg up to you. If you can catch it the proper way without getting your ribs broken or taking a bad shot or dropping your hands, but if you can do it properly, then your takedown is halfway completed for you.
Majcek looking for the takedown here now.
Right now you see that Shamil has double underhooks. Really, honestly, Majcek needs to stop driving for the legs and fishing for underhooks. That takedown was completely shut down from where the underhooks were, and he still is driving his weight down. It's an impossible takedown to complete that way as he was doing it.
Oh, nice counter right hand there from Majcek. But the quality chin there, the durability of Shamil. Barely blinked when that hit him.
Shamil's very composed. Looks like a sniper, just sitting out there, just ranging him out, looking for where he's going to acquire a shot.
Oh, Majcek's doing that almost Frankie Edgar style takedown there, throwing the overhand right and picking behind the left leg of Shamil.
But Shamil, what a great stand-up. He used his shin across the hips to block the forward pressure of Majcek and was able to drive up. And again, Majcek, here he has a better chance of finishing this takedown. You can see there. But that he's just not, he doesn't have great upper body position. He's kind of making the battle harder for himself, and he's making up for it with tenacity. We're just that, I'm going to make this happen. That can work for you in the earlier stages of the fight, but as the fight wears on, that reserve you have to make something happen, even if it's not the most effective technique, it goes away. We're all human. You only have so much of that in the gas tank.
We've got 2 minutes, 10 seconds left of this first round.
Interesting to see that Majcek is really forcing the takedown. I thought in a little bit, maybe I missed something. It looked like he actually had the better of the exchange. He hit Shamil
on the counter with that right hand.
Maybe he felt something that we didn't, whether it was a shot from Shamil or the fact that he landed a good shot and didn't get the result that he wanted. Sometimes that could be very intimidating in a fight. You land what you think is your Sunday punch on a guy, and he doesn't even blink.
Shamil also.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Look at that.
I think
he's just
landed some shots, and they're not doing anything. So you're seeing a fighter, and that is an awful feeling to have.
Oh, damn.
When your opponent basically has no respect for your power. He's going to walk you down. And I really think that's actually one of the first tenets of stand-up you have to learn, is that you have to at least own your own space. We're going to work on offense later, but defensively, it's like, well, you have to have something that whether it's going to be a right hand, a rear hand straight punch, whether it's going to be a knee, you have to have some kind of strike that says, yo, you're not going to walk me down.
That's a lovely coming forward combination as well from Shamil.
And right now, Majcek has not landed that shot. You see Shamil has complete composure, walking forward. He hasn't thrown caution completely to the wind, but he's showing a pretty strong lack of respect for the power of Majcek.
Little nod there from Shamil from the body kick, but responds with...
What a great left hand there.
Oh, that was so close. Patrick Kinsler there, welterweight contender here at ACB in the corner of Filip Majcek, shouting out instructions. Great.
Majcek needs to go back to what was working for him. Throw a combination and go right into that takedown.
Last 10 seconds.
He doesn't have a power technique on his feet that's going to...
just grazed. He throws it again.
2 spin hook kicks. First one, I think, bounced a little bit and caught him. Second one, I don't think caught him at all.
Wow. Great display there from Shamil. Like you said, nearly no respect. Comes and gives you a little look there as well.
Very impressive. Great composure, moving forward, stalking him, and really, it's just, he's right now the hunter. I don't know a better way to describe what I'm watching right now, but his energy, also too, his heartbeat is going to be lower. He's not as nervous or not as panicked. There you see, Majid landed the right hand on the chin, and there was nothing. Afterwards, he landed the punch and just backed up because Shamil is respecting the strikes, but they're not affecting him to the point to where he's worried about coming forward. Great combination, threw the spin kick, but Majid was able to fade off to the side. He faded off again to the side, but that time got caught with a spinning hook kick that barely missed, and that connected all heel. We wouldn't have a second round that we'll be talking about coming up.
I think that's the third or fourth he threw in that fight, and that shows that how composed he is. And now it's up to Majid to switch it up. Patrick Kinsill calling for the corner of the opponent to get out. I think maybe part of the game plan was try and wear on him in the Arturo Chavez fight. Shamil was made to fight at Arturo's pace. Nice respect from the fighters there. I think...
I don't know if I like that side. I was cornering Majid right now.
You want to get gritty, bite down on your mouthpiece. And
yeah, right now you can see there's no... He needs to flip the switch.
Trying to increase the output there, but again, a lot of touching gloves between these two fighters.
Well, that's also just the southpaw versus orthodox stance. Both guys lead hands, jam each other. And you see that a lot in boxing, kickboxing, where both guys basically paw at each other. I know that it's driven my coaches nuts over years, and I'm like, I just don't know how not to do that. Where every time southpaw versus orthodox, we reach out, we just kind of cancel each other's jabs out. Unless you have a southpaw like a Michael Moore that has a phenomenal jab as a left-handed fighter, but for the most part, they just, what you're watching is very commonplace.
That body kick certainly hurt Majid, then he dropped his elbow. I'll be interested to see if Shamil looks to punish that body on that right-hand side of Majid.
And Shamil's eyes are able to be locked on, focused the whole time. In the heat of battle, as punches being thrown his way, he's just zoned in, targeting, looking to land his own shot.
Look at that as well. Slips one, rips one, and Majid ate it.
Majid again. As Majid fades to the right, a spin side kick would probably be more effective for him. He's walking into that. The spin hook kick that he's throwing, I tend to find that it works better on opponents that are fleeing from him.
Interesting to see if Shamil wants to take this to the ground. He's so dominant on top, on the feet, sorry.
What I know of the guys there at Baku, he's going to want to get on top. They are devastating on top, on the ground. I might stand corrected here. I don't know if he's faking the funk right now just to kind of stall. He's doing a phenomenal job of it.
He might be looking to drop that big left hand over the top, but the referee warned him about no knee.
I never heard that before.
I've never heard that either. I don't think that's...
I heard that's a local rule.
Certainly not the sort of kick I like, the hyperextending the knee and those teeps that you see fighters like John Jones use. But
Majid had a good single, but he made the mistake of reaching for the lower back of Shamil, and that allowed Shamil now to have a good whizzer. He's pulling up with that overhook that he has with his left arm, and basically was able to pull him off of the leg. And now that basically right side of Majid is no longer an offensive weapon.
Short knees coming in from Majid, but nothing that's going to wear that much on Shamil.
No,
He's trapped the right arm of Shamil, but he's brought that free now.
That was a great takedown attempt. He had the arm trapped, so there was no post. Still has it trapped. If Majid can really get his right arm to try, and he lost it.
Majid always dangerous. Like you said, 9 of his wins by submission. Despite the scruffy entry, that was quite a nice takedown, and certainly has put Majek in the best position he's been in the fight, but look at that. Shamil, as I said, he just bucks it off.
Use the shin to get back up. Was almost in a front headlock, guillotine attempt there from Majek. Great wrist control, was able to pull his hip out, and immediately back on the attack.
Majek mixing up that left hand, throwing it straight, throwing it as an uppercut, a shovel uppercut as well.
And Majek's defense every time is just to lift his arms up. And so, Shamil...
Oh, there's a big left hook there from Shamil. Hammer fist coming down.
Well,
he survived it.
You can't question his toughness here.
This is one of the reasons Philip Majek is a fan favourite. He brings a fight out of a fighter. This is one of the most dominant, aggressive performances I've seen from Shamil. And Majek looks pretty steady on his feet to say he ate that big left hand.
Shamil doing it. I like how he's changing up also the attacks with that left side. Sometimes it's a punch, and then when he feels like it's being blocked too easily, he ends up throwing that left kick right to the liver there of Majek.
Majek wearing the marks on his face now. Just 10 seconds left in this round. A glimmer of, oh my goodness. Glimmer of hope there from Majek when he got on top, but Shamil blocked him off and then literally walked him around the cage with big left hooks.
Yeah, here he was able to get the takedown. He had locked up that wrist against the cage, but he started going too much heavy on attacks and lost control. And here just Shamil coming forward, using the right hand, left hands exchanging, keeping his eyes open, trying to find a place to fit. Lands a great left hook right there. Gets on top, almost finishes the fight, but Majek is as tough as they come. Was able to fend it off enough to get this fight to go into the third round.
We have been treated to some absolutely wonderful battles so far, and this is just the third fight here at ACB 55. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. And we're in the circus, Frank, and we've been treated to some wonderful performances so far. This time Shamil out of off his stool early. Majek coming out slightly slower. Looks like his corner of Shamil calling for that left hand, keep that high. Looks like he's going to be trying to throw that, maybe the right kick. This is round 3.
Round 3, the final round.
Majek in the blue corner, Shamil in the red. And to put a real point on this performance, a finish would be amazing from Shamil. And as I say that, he looks to do it right now. Chosen to drop in the guard, just 30 seconds of this round gone. This is not where Majek would have wanted to be this early on in the third and final round.
Well, I don't think being against the cage is suffering from a brutal combination that he was receiving. This might be the lesser of two evils. You're right, he doesn't want to be here, but again, the downward elbow.
Well, for me, that's confusing because downwards. Armbar attempt.
Wow, and he kind of put his arm in there for a second. He was out easily and reached back in, I think, thinking control. And now he's in the half guard, but pushing the Majek's left hip to the mat, which makes this an awful position to be on the bottom of.
Shamil controlling that right leg, not letting him base off of it.
Majek again, he did that against the cage earlier, and now he has it again. He's reached around with his right hand, and he's across the back, and he has double wrist control on Shamil's arm.
Look at this. Wow, and uses it to sweep.
That
full reversal there, now he's on top.
You see that happen a lot. He really just has that technique and combination down.
But Shamil not willing to stay down. He was playing the game there with the fingers on the mat. He was actually, that would have been with the new rule set here in 2017. He would have been able, Majek would have been able to throw a head strike there with a kick or a knee.
I don't know what the ref would have called.
Yeah.
I'm confused on a couple calls. Maybe he wasn't calling the downward elbow. Maybe he felt that it was too close to the back of the head. A lot of referees will draw a line basically across using the ear as a cutting point straight up and say that nothing beyond that line.
2 minutes 30 seconds left in the third and final round. Much different round to the others now, much more grappling based. Mychek actually showing a lot of not just dexterity but control from this bottom position. He's threatened with arm bars.
Well, he has kind of what we call the lockdown position, except for his hands the wrong way. If his right hand needs to be thumb facing outward, palm up if he wants to really secure that ankle. And you can see how he's reached up and holding the ankle, but it's all grip strength right now by doing so. You really want to have your hand underneath your ankle, palm facing you, and it makes it to where it's a less strength orientated, much more efficient grip if you want to hold someone's head down with your leg that way. What he's doing right now, again, it's the resemblance of the proper technique, but he's missing an essential detail.
That slight adjustment there. Just 1 minute 30 seconds now. Referee on top of the action. I'm not sure he's going to let, unless Shamil ups the pace. Shamil's actually looking at the referee there. Maybe
start the fight back up.
Yeah. Seems to be in a little bit of checkmate here. Shamil throwing enough activity for the ref not to stand it up, but not devastating enough to trouble Mychek.
No, Mychek's taking some heavy shots on his feet. These punches now that Shamil is throwing from his knees, they're bothersome, but they're not fight-ending shots, especially from what he's already landed on Mychek. Mychek just
seems content just to control here.
Yeah, I think right now he's possibly just trying to control, cover up, not eating anything big. And I think see if Shamil makes any drastic mistakes.
7 seconds left. Shamil adding a bit of intent. Oh, there we see some hip action from Mychek on the bottom, but too little, too late. Great respect between the two fighters, but a very dominant performance from Shamil there from start to finish. Look at some of the action back here. These are the big hooks.
I was avoiding the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
There you see was that flurry there started the round off, which was the most exciting aspect of that round was the first 30 seconds, and maybe a little bit of the sweep there. But here you just see Shamil doing great ground and pound, going up to the body, going up to the head, and Mychek, was able to tie him down, hold the legs, but not really set up the proper rubber guard there from the bottom. It looked like that maybe that was where he was going, but it wasn't the cleanest application of the technique.
Дамы и господа, по завершении трехраундового боя, единогласным решением судей, победу одержал, ladies and gentlemen, after the end of action, your winner by unanimous decision, Shamil Shakpulfatov!
Unanimous
Грозный.
decision
И
there.
аплодисменты его сопернику из Чехии, Филипп Мацев.
Unanimous decision there for Shamil, and well earned as well. Showed great composure throughout that fight against a tough opponent.
He did. Mychek was not going away. He landed some hellacious shots, just never could finish them.
Дамы и господа, Лига ACB совместно с Doro Fight представляет вам трехраундовый бой в легчайшем весе. И в синий угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из Казахстана. Встречайте, Денис Мусник!
So next up, a bantamweight bout here. Dennis Mutznek making his way to the ACB cage. Coming off the back of 2 losses, 2 very, very tough losses for him. 2 submission finishes against 2 of ACB's best. Murad Kalimov, who we saw in action at ACB 54 in Manchester, put on a masterful display. And against Mutznek as well, threw up a flying triangle, a great finish from him. And then Manabek Kariganov, ACB 35, caught him with a triangle as well. So confidence-wise, for a man who submissions really are his forte, 7 wins, 7 of his wins are by sub. That's got to be a huge hurdle to come over now, coming back into the cage, trying to re-establish yourself in this division and come off a 2-fight losing skid.
Well, at first glance, you feel it to be an advantage that Dennis has now. That he's obviously probably worked a lot of triangle defense, but also, too, sometimes it's kind of like that pitch in baseball or a different maneuver in any other sport where if you fall victim to it, it almost gets into your head. And you might end up fall victim to it again. People go, hey, man, you didn't know that was coming? Because you overanalyze it. Sometimes you become consumed with something and it distracts you, where it's not easy just to let something go. And obviously you want to learn from your mistakes. You don't want to be consumed by them, because then it can just distract you, and it can be a problem. And very well, you see a guy get finished or stopped for something 3, 4, 5 times in a row because of being consumed by it.
В красный угол добро пожаловать боец из Таджикистана! Встречайте, Фатхиддин Сабиров!
So we welcome another Tajikistan fighter here. Sabirov, the Lion, making his way to the cage. Big for this weight class, has fought at featherweight before, so coming down, looking to carry that strength and that combo Shambat background he's got into the cage. The great thing I like about this fight is when you watch his fights, he is either in or out. On the feet he keeps the distance, but when he commits to a takedown, he goes all out for it. So, and he disguises those well. That's a great attribute, especially when you are a grappling specialist as this fighter is.
Well, you see that his record ought to be a 5-1. The fact that he has 3 finishes by rear naked choke. Rear naked choke is really a finish that means you completely dominated a guy. You've had to either, on your feet, work your way to the ground, taking his back. That's one of those submissions that's it's kind of like I own you. Yeah. You can catch a guy that you're better than in an armbar because he might make a mistake and push out. You might catch something, a guillotine, he lowered his head. But to take someone's back, control them, flip in the choke, especially with gloves on, that is a very dominant display of grappling and way to finish it. I gotta say, as a black belt jiu-jitsu, that's probably the last way I want to get tapped out. I don't want to get caught with anything. First choice is probably a foot lock, because even the best of us get caught with that at any point. But getting rear naked choke is that's like kind of getting a grand slam home run on somebody.
Is someone whispering in your ear, good night, Mr. Mir?
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
Итак, знакомьтесь, боец в синем углу. Ему 30 лет, рост 167 сантиметров, вес 61,5 килограмм. Профессиональный рекорд состоит из 15 боев, 11 побед, 4 поражениях. Его стиль — вольная борьба, дамы и господа. Из Талдыкаркана, Казахстан, Денис Муцнек. И его соперник в красном углу клетки. Бойцу 23 года. Рост 172 сантиметра, вес 61,6 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 6 боев, 5 побед и только 1 поражение. Его стиль ММА, дамы и господа, из Душанбе, Таджикистан. Встречайте, Фатхиддин Сабиров. Рефери поединка.
Еще раз напоминаю, головой бить нельзя, по затылку позвоночнику бить нельзя. Локти можно бить, в голову, в корпус, кроме ударов локтями 12-6, знаете. Сетку, шорты, перчатки не хватает. Слушай, меня на протяжении всей боя. Пожали руки, раздачный спорт.
So we are set. Final instructions have been read. Dennis Mutznek in the blue corner, Sabirov in the red. Muchnek out of Kazakhstan. I need you to be completely unbiased in this fight, Frank. I know you spent a lot of time in Kazakhstan over the last 12 hours. Soborov controlling the distance, throwing that right kick, but Muchnek looking to start fast.
Muchnek's being aggressive coming forward, but Soborov was able to pull his head back just out of range, loaded that rear side, fired off a beautiful combination, looking...
Just catches the nose of Muchnek there, and a great response from the crowd. Full arena here at the circus in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Oh, big right hand from Muchnek. High output from Muchnek as well. Oh, and catches Soborov with that left hand.
Strong shot. And Soborov's a little shaky, threw a good combination, and immediately went down into a double leg takedown.
Great sprawl from Muchnek though. I think he's oh, catches him again with that left hand.
Caught the kick, tried to get the takedown, but Muchnek had the underhook, was able to secure the hips, drive down, but that was a great display of hip control from Soborov. He was able to get back up to his feet with just a post, and essentially was in a body lock from Muchnek. That's from years of training and grappling, that you have the core strength to pull that off.
This really is heating up into a great battle.
These guys aren't feeling each other out.
Nice little uppercut. Oh, big shots exchanged from both fighters there. That level change, very nice, but Muchnek's hips.
Muchnek had a great underhook, pushed it over, grabbed the rear naked, but Soborov was able to, again, because he sacrificed reaching up for that choke, Soborov was able to drop his elbow through and has now had a double body lock, or 10 double underhooks.
This is a hell of a pace. Soborov known for his cardio though. Big knees to the solar plexus of both fighters.
It's an interesting gamble both guys are choosing. Muchnek likes the uppercut, which is a much easier strike to throw from the clinch there, both having each other in a collar clinch. The knee can be a more difficult one to throw. Obviously, you're bringing your whole leg up. Oh, failed lateral drop. Muchnek was trying to throw him over the side, but Soborov was not pushing forward. That throw only really works when your opponent's driving into you. If he's off balance, you really see it work well in my weight class. You get lumbers and heavyweights start driving forward, and then one drops to his hip, throws the guy over with what we call lateral drop, and you'll see guys go for airtime.
Could have been a lot worse for Muchnek there at the bottom of Soborov, but did very well to get back to his feet and has engaged the clinch yet again and tries it again.
Soborov stepped over the hips. If he'd have locked in that far side hook, could have been a good move. Sometimes it's dangerous stepping over the hips. The bottom guy just lifts his hips up in the air, ends up throwing you right down to your back.
1 minute 15 seconds left of this round, and such a pace. Muchnek takes the center of the cage and smiles at Soborov. Nice left hook there, short left, and pulls out with a kick, but Muchnek read that. This is where the cardio of Soborov might come in, because Muchnek already breathing quite heavily, shaking his arms out, showing signs of fatigue just in the first round.
Well, he's been in a hard grappling match, and that is a scary thing to do. I mean, it's tempting. You want to shake your arms up. I've been there. But sometimes when you're in a hard fight like this, both guys grinding it out, you don't want to give any signal to your opponent that you're also as tired as he is. It inspires people, it reassures them. And that arm shake is a sure sign that I know now your arms are tired. My arms are probably equally as tired, but now I see that your arm's tired too, so I don't have to question whether, you know, you're letting me know, yes, I'm tired too. And that's reassuring as a fighter.
10 seconds left to go. This has been a ferocious pace from both fighters. Feels like Soberov is just picking up the momentum towards the end of that fight, though.
His muscular endurance a little bit looks like superior to Muchnik. Muchnik is very game, he's explosive, but it seemed like his body suffered more from those outputs. Here you see a crazy explosion of a combination. Caught him with that left hook there at the end of it. Here you see the uppercuts and the knee exchange. Takedown attempt, but Muchnik had a great underhook, turned the corner. That was the only mistake he made there, Matt, is he kept going for the back with that choke. Really, there was nothing there. Soberov was able to go for the more basic underhook, turned around and shoved him up against the cage.
Muchnik versus Soberov. A great first round technical battle. The other reason they might be tired is they're throwing everything into every shot, aren't they? These big hooks.
What we say, they bite down on their mouthpiece.
Yeah.
These guys are, when they throw it, they're throwing other punches, but you can see there's a stark difference between them. The one where they just kind of move their hand as a fake, but when they have intentions to land a punch, they only land at 100%. They're only throwing it 100%. They're not throwing those in-between punches, you know, they're just snapping out a jab or a rear punch, you know, right hand or a straight left hand to try to measure their opponent or set up that big shot. It's either hand fake, hand pump, and then it's go for the kill.
And they're straight back into that format as well. Round two now here. Oh, big left hand catch Soberov, but he eats it.
And Soberov landed the right hand there on Muchnik.
Right foot, nice low leg kick there from Muchnik on the entry. Both connecting again.
Yeah, Muchnik kind of ran into a left jab there, Soberov, and when he backed up, got caught with the right hand on his exit.
Soberov with another excellent level change. Like I said, when he decides to take down, he commits. And
Muchnik was trying to kind of pull over the hips to get an elevation and maybe rotate out, but Soberov did a job of identifying it, flattened down a little bit, was able to establish his base and get inside the guard. Let's see if he can take advantage of this. And, oh, that was a dangerous kick to throw. Meaning that had that caught Muchnik on the way up before he was not a downed opponent, it could have been a costly point in a very contested, tight fight.
Very, very tight fight indeed here. Controlled aggression from both fighters, but willing to exchange. And then going into these grappling back and forth on the cage, which are so arduous, so grueling.
I mean, they're throwing 100% shots. That's taxing to your body. And then they go right into these grinding, tough grappling matches. This is both these guys have to be in phenomenal shape to keeping this up. This is about as hard of a fight you could possibly be in.
And the crowd here at the Chambe at the circus enjoying it as well. Denis Muchnik looking low and faking with a kick to the body. He really does like that uppercut, doesn't he? He likes to fake him. Soberov again. Changing levels and getting that top position.
Muchnik has double overhooks over the top of the head. He might have been able to use that to get up, but was able to block out. Now he's attacking the leg, but Soberov was able to identify that and square back up. And now he's stepping over for a pass, but he didn't quite step over the knee. It almost gave up kind of a sweep there in itself. If Muchnik could have locked that ankle up, it could have gave him an anchor and remove a post, he could have drove it into.
2 minutes left in this second round, sorry. Soberov applying that forward pressure.
I'm really curious to see which guy breaks first. This is
there's no signs of it yet. There's a
dangerous battle.
That's a good word to describe it.
Two rams just flying at each other full speed, neither one giving up.
Matching each other punch for punch, breath for breath. And that's what it could come down to. Who's got the tank for the the potential 3 rounds that this looks like it might take.
Also, a fight like this, sometimes it's who doesn't make that costly mistake, who doesn't go through that gambling technique to try to get something big to happen, but it leaves them exposed and your opponent takes advantage of it.
Really is a fight of little battles here going on the ground as well. Leg position, head position, grips, whatever they can do. And when one gets an advantage, the other one switches it. And such a well matched fight. Oh, lovely.
There was the mistake. Now that was why would you give up the mount? What are you doing?
Jiu-jitsu black belt.
Okay. Yeah. Why would you?
You can't see this at home, but you almost stood up there. That was quite a... Why would you give up the mount, though?
Well, sometimes guys don't like it. Yeah, he did. He just gave it up. I don't agree with that. And I think Miocic, if he's watching this afterwards, might be kind of upset. He should have kept the mount. If he wanted to keep himself from being swept, he could have locked the ankles and drove his hips down heavy on the mat. But it was a dominant position. You already seen Sobrov make a mistake by just trying to basically throw him over the top. I would just stay here and keep raining down shots.
What a finish to the round. We've been treated to another technical battle, but on top of that, an absolute war going on between these two fighters. Mutznek.
Here you see the level change, driving in, but Miocic was able to lock over the armpits and hold on and not keep it as an efficient takedown. Here, he had the mount, he has it, and he's raining down shots to see if he can look for a submission.
Stunning. I don't know why he would have tried to switch from there, but...
Well, sometimes in the gym, especially without striking, sometimes the mount is not the easiest position to hold. I understand that. In a pure grappling match, sometimes side control or even half guard on top is easier to control your opponent, less sweeps, but it's easier for him also to get up. Whereas sometimes the mount, if you make a mistake and leave an arm and the guy can wrap it, it becomes a very easy sweep. He can, what they call it, like an upa, roll right into your guard on top. But in MMA, I think the mount is a great position because your opponent just can't tie up and worry about keeping his arms protected. Because if you mount me, it's not like I only have to worry about it being choked or armbarred. I have to worry about you raining down elbows and punches.
Damage.
And major damage. And you see the mount a lot of times ends up, you punish your opponent enough, they'll make a stupid mistake, give you that arm, give you that choke, or even roll to their back or their stomach and give you their back.
So round 3 kicks off here. Dennis Mutznek in the blue corner. Sobrov the Lion in the red corner. You talked about momentum and breaking. When Dennis Mutznek came off the top of the mount there back to his corner, he almost skipped back to his... That must have given him huge confidence, having that sweep and finishing up in mount.
That was a technique that just, it gave him, you see it, that's one of those things you don't want to give your opponent. The mistake there that gave up an off-balance sweep that Sobrov gave up, revitalized. Now you see the aggressiveness and tenacity that Miocic has. He's coming forward. He feels, well, if I get on top, I'm going to be able to dominate. And you see right now, he's really pushing for it.
Really working hard against the combat Sambo champion as well in there, Sobrov.
And I think right now, Miocic is winning this fight. I think he was, first round, I don't know who you're going to give it to. Second round, I was in the same boat, but I feel how it ended. Miocic took that second round, and right now, he took the back, but his right leg is in the wrong position. He's going to end up on his back here in a second.
Again, we talked about little mistakes, little errors that could lead to big changes in the fight, and there we go. Sobrov from a moment of being dominated has switched it around, but the tenacity of Mutznek is not willing to stay down there and take it.
He can get his hands connected. Nope. Right now he's...
This is truly back and forth. Mutznek digging deep, trying to go for a takedown yet again, but Sobrov forcing him back up.
I can't believe these guys have anything left.
High pace.
Every strike they've thrown has been to try to end the fight. Their grappling has been high intensity. Neither guy has found really a great position except for the mounts that Mitchell had in the second round. But for only really a good 45 seconds.
So difficult to score this one, but what a show they're putting on here for the fans here in Dushanbe. 2 minutes 30 seconds left of this third and final round, and they're going as hard and as fast as they were in the first 10 seconds of the first round.
Now, this is a hard grind that you're seeing right here. It's not a lot of movement being exchanged here, but they are squeezing with every ounce of strength and driving forward. The anaerobic capacity of both these athletes is incredible.
Real cage battle going on here now. Neither fighter are able to really get the advantage, but there's the little uppercut that Muchnik uses to break. And it's Soborov who comes charging forward.
Well, Chris Soborov needs to get back in this round. Right now, if this fight would end at this round, at this moment, I have
Muchnik, yes. But the crowd willing on their hometown fighter. Really working for this takedown.
That type of body lock over the top that he did the first time. In freestyle, you can actually use that to score points and lock your opponent's head down and possibly even get a stop. But right now, he wasn't able to utilize it to stop the takedown.
And now it's Muchnik on bottom with 1 minute 10 seconds left. An epic battle.
Wow, nice back step over. Passing the guard. Gets his head on the proper side.
And Muchnik re-engages his legs as well. Look at that, 1 for 1.
What a great way to re-establish the guard. Muchnik was able to whip out, get his knees back in.
The referee calling for more action. Oh my goodness, how much more do you want, my man?
Yeah, I mean, this is a hard-fought fight. Neither guy is taking a break. They might not be moving, but they're as fast as you would like to see, but that's because both guys are just driving. You're just seeing, what do they say, an immovable force, a little more object versus an unstoppable force.
Yes. Oh, and a quick back to move, they might end up in a triangle here.
He's got out of the triangle, and he's been able to pass the guard for a second, but Richard's able to get that knee back in, and
10 seconds left. The crowd are going wild here in Dushanbe. I'm glad we are commentating and not scoring this fight.
I don't know. You can raise you guys' hand. I don't know.
Wow. And we said we were looking for who would break first. Neither broke there.
Neither broke. There you see the takedown again. Body lock there, he tried to throw him over the top. A nice cartwheel pass, he tried to dive over the top there. Almost ended up in a triangle, but those are the risks and gambles you take in a fight. Sometimes you try to make a high, a risky move can really maybe yield some high results, but sometimes it can be a risk too and cost you a gamble.
And this is where the judging comes in. It's so subjective. What caught the eyes of the judges? What are they scoring it upon? And who's taken this epic battle between two absolute warriors here in Dushanbe, ACB 55?
You know what? If I'm sliding a little bit towards Muchnik, I feel that,
I felt the momentum shifted in his way.
По окончании боя.
He was on the attack a lot.
Все три судьи одинаково оценили этот поединок 29-28. Дамы и господа, единогласным решением судей победу одержал
So there we go, Soborov takes it on the judges' scorecard. A real tough one to score.
Tough fight to score.
Yeah, very hard to score. You can argue for either guy right now. And you can see how disappointed Dennis Muchnik is.
I do know that. I wish you saw this corner. I've been there. When you're about to fight, you're tired. You want everyone to get out of your face. So leave me alone. The hugs, the grabs, it's like, I need air, man, I need air.
Both fighters really do understand how close it was. Great respect between the two. And what a show they put on for us here.
И слово победителю.
Салам алейкум ва ҳавай бари чикор кардам омад дастгирӣ кард фатешка кард якум ма шукрона мекунем ки ватани мо обод ай мо ҳаме хел баромад мекунем ҳазор раҳмат ба ҷаноби олӣ ки моро дастгирӣ мекунам фақат ҳамаи возможница дорем ҳазор раҳмат ба акай дилшод компанияи доробфай ки моро ҳам хеле возможниц дост дар мировой уровни баромад кардем раҳмати калом ба ҷан ва Байонов Раджабали, Акай Дилшод, Акай Шаҳбоз, Акай Далер ҳама вақт маро дастгир мекунад. Раҳмат ако, ҳамада раҳмат.
Атинтин Сапиров.
We need subtitles.
We need subtitles. I think he said I'm tired.
Дамы и господа, мы продолжаем. Мы представляем вам трехраундовый поединок в полусреднем весе. И в синий угол клетки добро пожаловать боец из Бразилии по прозвищу Чатупинья. Welcome to the blue corner from Brazil, Igor Fernandez.
So as they say, no rest for the wicked. We keep moving. The ACB 55 here in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. And Igor Fernandez, the Brazilian, makes his way to the cage. Very experienced fighter. Plenty of fights under his belt and been in there with some top level opponents. Has a win over Wendell Oliveira, a UFC fighter, a submission specialist. 13 submissions have come by way of Anaconda. 17 finishes out of his fights, which is a tremendous number. And to get that many by one technique, that's an amazing thing, isn't it?
That establishes that you have that technique down. Because obviously after the third, fourth, fifth, 10th time you've applied that move, you know that your corner is studying on how to block that. Okay, well, this is how we're going to get out of it. This is how we're going to avoid it. This is how we're going to supply it. And the fact that you still get it off, that says just you have that move down. You're razor sharp in your application. And opponents need to fear it. They have to respect it. Know that you can't just say that you caught one or two guys. You're catching a multitude of individuals, and he has a high-level win over UFC Wendell Oliveira. It shows that this guy is good. Igor Fernandez has great jiu-jitsu, and we'll see if he's able to put it on display tonight, because if you're a fan of submissions, if he's victorious tonight, it will be by submission.
Very exciting fighter to welcome back as well. 8-fight win streak, so looking to really put a mark on this, I think his second ACB fight, that he could be a potential title contender with his background, with his pedigree, with his skill set. A lot of the division will be keeping their eyes on this man because he's a dangerous threat.
And the Anaconda choke, too, another thing about it. I don't know if you've ever been put in one and get out. Drysdale guy I trained was very good at that choke. He has the arms for it. Even if you get out of it, you know, the guy doesn't fit. It saps your strength. It's a crushing, very menacing type choke to be in. Brutal.
А в красный угол добро пожаловать боец из России. Встречайте, Рустам Гаджиев!
And the reason I was looking forward to this battle is this matchup. Rustam Gadjiev, debuted at ACB 35. Tough fighter, in really good shape. I saw him at the hotel today. Physically looks massively different from when I saw him back at ACB 35 in Georgia. And in that fight, he was taken down, so they got into a couple of scrambles. And this is what I like about him. He's got a great grappling, a great jiu-jitsu game, and he is constantly working. If you get out one thing, he's got another thing set up. He finished his last fight by knee bar. It looked like he didn't have it, and he made those small adjustments that make you know that he's an elite grappler, elite submission specialist, and got that wonderful knee bar finish.
The one thing I really love about this matchup is that, look, this is an ACB event. This is an ACB fighter. When I came to the organization, I wouldn't have been surprised if they put their guys with easy fights. But here you have an opportunity for a situation. Rustam is their guy. His losses would only come by choke. So what do they set him up with? They set him up with a guy who has 11 anaconda chokes alone.
13 anaconda
13, right?
No.
Like, it's almost like they picked it. It's almost a disadvantage to be one of the hometown guys.
Well,
they stick him against guys. It's like on paper, this is a horrible matchup for Rustam.
Absolutely, and it's got to be much of his camp has got to be placed on that defense for those chokes. But when I speak to the matchmaker, I get to spend quite a bit of time with Ibrahim, and he's a fascinating man because his ethos is we want to put our ACB guys up against the best. When I go home and I'm looking at matchups, I'm picking for them to lose. I'm putting up, and you'll see it with our headline fight, matching up two hot prospects, two top prospects that will take one of the O's off of them and remove one of them as a contender. And here today, putting a Russian against a Brazilian in a fight which is just an absolute puzzle in front of us.
Итак, знакомьтесь, боец в синем углу, fighting out of the blue corner. Ему 28 лет, рост 177 сантиметров, вес 77,5 килограмма. 28 years old, he stands 177 centimeters tall, official weight 77.5 kilograms. Его профессиональный рекорд состоит из 26 боев, 20 побед, 6 поражений. His professional record consisting of 26 bouts, 20 victories against 6 defeats. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу, representing Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, please welcome Igor Chatupinya Fernandez. Его соперник в красном углу. Бойцу 30 лет, рост 180 сантиметров, вес 77,1 килограмма. Его профессиональный рекорд 11 боев, 8 побед при 3 поражениях. Его стиль ММА. Дамы и господа, из Махачкалы, Россия, приветствуйте, Рустам Гаджиев! Рефери поединка Ашот Ашугян.
Это центр. Listen to my comments, no fighting, no comments. Okay? Put your hand. Good luck.
What a matchup we have here in front of us. ACB 55 here in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Me, Brian Lacey, alongside Frank Mir calling the action. Igor Fernandez in the blue corner and Rustam Gadjiev in the red. And Gadjiev has had a smile on his face since he entered the cage. Keeping a fairly low base for that striking stance, Gadjiev.
Easier to stop a takedown when you have that low center of gravity. It sets you up already as your opponent changes levels. You're able to change levels quicker, and you can get down low. You don't want your opponent to get underneath of you. It just makes the takedown that much easier for them to complete.
He's in great shape as well, Gadjiev.
His waist-to-shoulder ratio is actually...
Oh, Igor Fernandez hit him twice there with a left right that certainly stunned Gadjiev.
Takedown. Wow.
Now watch for this. Gadjiev turning it around there.
Has the legs trapped down, pin. Now Fernandez is going down to his turtle, but he doesn't have his head up. Now he's trying to stand up. At first, sometimes that's a thing that jiu-jitsu guys do. Sometimes when we turtle down, we look for that kimura. We might look to reestablish guard. Look for the knee bar if the guy is silly enough to put his leg between our ankles. But it leaves you open to getting hit. So sometimes we have to convert that over to, okay, you can roll your hands, but use it like a wrestler. How basically you're seeing Gadjiev, who used his stance to get back up and sweep in reverse.
Igor Fernandez won during that clinch for holding the gloves of Gadjiev. Oh, big right hand there from Gadjiev. Right in front of us as well. You can feel the power on that shot. Real hand battle going on here. Big knees.
And right now those are on the hamstring, which suck. but they go to the outside of the leg, that sciatic nerve just runs down.
Sends it through your whole body, doesn't it?
It's an awful place to get hit. It's probably one of my least favorite below the waist to get hit. Coming from a guy. He switched out to a head outside single, but he has to be careful, which now he doesn't because Igor had a Kimura, which was a good attempt, but then switched over to the guillotine, which harder to lock up once the opponent, Gadzhiev, already had a tight lock on the leg because the head pressure is so tight against your body, you don't really have the room, and because of the gloves, it's kind of hard to slip that guillotine in. He's showing great resolve to be able to get back up to his feet.
Fernandez turning the corner. Eating a knee for his trouble on the inside as well.
Igor just looks bigger.
They're right in front of us, and you're quite right. They look like two different weight classes. And when we say Gadzhiev looks in shape, he looks like he's dropped a lot of muscle mass and leaned up, and maybe that's to negate some of the weight cut. I know he had a big weight cut in ACB 35 back in Georgia. 1 minute 30 seconds left in this first round. Gadzhiev already felt the power of Igor Fernandez early in this fight. That left-right certainly rocked him.
Well, that was a nice timing to do a switch stance, threw the hook off the lead side after he switched.
Oh, wild shots there.
Well, they came after a response to a nice stiff jab. There, the right hand didn't quite turn over for Fernandez because he caught an inside leg kick there from Gadzhiev, which threw off his stance. Oh, he's got this takedown.
Raised in there. You see where he wants to put him. Bang!
He was deep, had the hands locked behind the legs. At that moment, oh, that's the anaconda choke he's trying to look for. He's got to attempt to go for it again.
Look at this, and he works it so well, inch by inch, exactly like this.
If he drops his hand under that bicep, and he just did.
Look at this. This is bad. This is deep.
Yep, it's bad.
Rolls him over.
It's real bad. Now you see right now if he can wrap the legs.
He's tapped. Oh my goodness, 14 finishes by anaconda choke. He was patient, he waited for his moment, and then once he looked up, he adjusted his grip, the angle, and that's all she wrote.
Beautiful.
Just a little bow to you there as well, my friend.
Well, I mean, that goes again. I mean, they picked the fight. They want their toughest fighters, and I guess they're correct. You know, they give him Gadzhiev. Fernandez was a tough battle, and we saw why. You gave a guy who's susceptible to choke to a choke artist.
And he pulled it off in wonderful style. Takes the victory, takes one more step to that #1 contender spot as well. There's no doubt that this is one of the most dangerous fighters here at ACB, and he's proved it yet again with this finish over Gadzhiev.
Дамы и господа, время остановки боя 4 минуты и 46 секунд первого раунда. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a time 4 minutes and 46 seconds of round number 1. Удушающим приемом победу одержал and your winner by submission, Igor Chaptupinga Fernandez, Brazil. И аплодисменты его сопернику из России Рустаму Гadzhiеву.
You see a combination explosion there, but here you just seen that when Igor Fernandez, he had a deep as you could get with a double, elevated up, hands connected, slams him down. Igor was able, he was able to try to fight up, but here he's locked up in the anaconda, driving forward. If he maybe would have gotten his feet away from the cage, he might have, maybe could have tried to avoid the inevitable, but you know, Igor Fernandez is razor sharp, black belt, world class, and that technique is just money for him.
And he's still enjoying his moment in the cage, and rightly so.
Дамы и господа, Лига ACB совместно с Dora Fight представляет вам трехраундовый бой в легком весе. в синий угол клетки. Добро пожаловать, боец из Украины. Встречайте, Олег Хачатуров!
So we keep the fights coming here, representing Ukraine. Here at ACB, we've got ACB 55, we've got fighters from 10 different countries. And now Oleg makes his way to the stage, to the ring. Took some time away from the sport in 2014. Reassessed, readjusted, regrouped, adapted his training, and in 2016 went on a 4-fight win streak. That is one of the most devastating win streaks in his weight class. And that mental time away as well as physical, be able to get his body to adapt, showed that it paid dividends with that win streak, and that will give him confidence coming into 2017.
Yes, and I like that when guys sit back sometimes. And, you know, you hit an impasse in your career, a stumbling block. Sometimes just taking fight after fight, you have to sit back and address things because there's a multitude of reasons of why you're not successful inside a cage. And most of them have nothing to do with your training. So the fact that he took some time off, hopefully and obviously addressed whatever issues those were, most likely probably personal, whatever the case may be, was able to come back now with his head on straight and now rattling off several victories in a row in a very tough division, the lightweight, shows that whatever he had to fix, he's fixed, and he's grown from it, so he adapted. Some guys take time off, they try to come back, and it actually is worse for them. Here's a situation where you see at Oleg, it was beneficial.
В красный угол клетки добро пожаловать, боец из Таджикистана. Встречайте, Индико!
So next up, we have another submission specialist. Iftikhor Arbobov, a devastating fighter, 12-2 record, 11 wins by submission and 11 wins in the first round. And we had a submission specialist in our last fight who has now got 14 anaconda chokes. You know, that's his one weapon. The problem with this fighter, with anyone facing him, is he's got a huge vocabulary of submissions. He's got arm bars, guillotine, rear naked chokes, even got one by toe hold as well. So it's not like you can prepare in your camp to defend one specific maneuver, one specific thing that he's good at. He is good all round on the ground, and not just good, devastating.
No, and you know, you're obviously going to have to try to have an encyclopedia of defenses going forward into this fight. But more importantly, you have to make sure, really, it's not so much the individual submissions I would be training for, but when I see a guy like this on paper, and then before I see somebody that's like, well, 11 wins by submission all in the first round. We know that he's strong there. We know he's effective there when he's dry. Let's try to get this fight into the second round. So more so than trying to win the first round, where you might expose yourself and open yourself up to such a dangerous submission artist, let's see if we can get him into deep water and see what he's made of there.
Итак, знакомьтесь с соперниками. Боец в синем углу. Ему 26 лет. Рост 175 сантиметров, вес 70,6 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 8 боев, 6 побед, 2 поражения. Его стиль ММА. Дамы и господа, из Луганска, Украина, Олег Хачатуров! И его соперник в красном углу клетки. Бойцу 28 лет, рост 170 сантиметров, вес 70,6 килограмма. Его профессиональный рекорд 14 боев, 12 побед при 2 поражениях. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу. Дамы и господа, из Душанбе, Таджикистан, Iftikhor Arbobov!
Внимательно слушали все команды стоп, не работаем. Локтями разрешено бить, колени голову, только стоит. Плавно и активно, все по правилам, нажали руки. Удачи и полно.
An intense stare down there before we get set for this fight to take place. A lightweight battle. in the blue corner, Bobov in the red. And Bobov's demeanor's so... Oh, stiff jab there from Oleg to start the fight.
That would be my way to win this fight. Keep him at the end of the punches for Oleg. Don't let him come in for any takedowns. Don't commit heavy to a strike coming in.
I was about to say, Bobov's demeanor is so calm, but he's such a fast starter. He gets to work straight away and looking for that takedown early. His last 2 fights combined don't even go over 2 minutes 30 seconds. So even surviving to 3 minutes with this monster is an achievement.
And he's just built powerfully. You can see that he's explosive, strong athlete. And a guy like that, you don't want him to grab onto something early.
Very thick set. You can see very different body types. The long, athletic body type of Oleg, whereas the stocky frame of
If he can get his right hand on that bicep again, he could even just put his thumb there. You see how his right hand's blocking? He put his right thumb on the left bicep of Bobov. He could push off. Oh, there he goes. He actually had it for a second. But see, now he's being aggressive and coming forward. And I understand that he's well-rounded. He's trying to do different things. But that's the wrong game plan for this opponent. He had an opportunity there where he could have just faded out and pushed off. You don't want to be in the clinch here.
Reset.
Yeah, this is where Oleg wants this fight to occur.
I like that one too. Very, very crisp hands.
And he doesn't need to follow it. I would say even unless Bobov is on the ground, ready to just on the verge of being knocked out, do not chase him in the first round. If I was in Oleg's corner, even if you rocked him, I'd be like, slow down. Who cares? We're knocking this guy out in the second or third round. We are not, and under no circumstances, finishing this fight in the first round. Because Bobov is the kind of guy that if you go for the finish, even if he's half unconscious, he might end up finishing you still. He's very explosive there. There we go, push off. Now,
there we go.
At Bobov's point, he needs to go ahead and lock up that takedown. Come behind a combination, change levels. And right now, by backing up, he's giving a lot of open mat area to Oleg. He needs to start circling, stalking, and keeping Oleg's back towards the cage. So right now, if he tries to charge forward, Oleg has plenty of territory, open grounds to flee into.
And it is a big cage here at ACB. This is a big cage for the fighters to work at. But I'm loving Oleg's strikes, so loose, so they're not forced, there's not lots of aggression, but there is still power and precision behind them.
He needs to be just a sharpshooter right now. Keep plugging away, keep catching him.
Use that jab so well, use that length and frustrate Bobov.
And Bobov now is if he wants to explode. Not a bad idea at all. I like that idea for Bobov. Right now he's having a hard time trying to corner Oleg, falling down for that leg. You know, right now he's in a ground fight. He might not be in his favorite position on the ground, but he's on the ground.
Very flexible fighter as well, despite his big stocky frame.
Now Oleg in turn is not panicking the way I think he should. He needs to, see, he allowed the guard to be closed.
In the corner of Oleg, the coach of our 145-pound champion, our featherweight champion, Manat Balayev.
He's locking on the shoulder. Yeah, see, Oleg had an opportunity before that guard got closed to get out of here. And now, he might feel that in most people he's in a dominant position. Not the case here. He should have backed out of the guard.
50 seconds left in this first round. Short head control there from Oleg, but
see here, back up.
There's your opportunity to let the guard is open.
He'll jump back in there. If he ends up getting caught in a submission here,
and it looks like
he's going to be kicking himself in the butt. He had opportunities to get out of this.
Bobov dangerous from every angle.
Well, and right now, what is he going to do to Bobov really? Like, you know, probably not going to land the fight-ending shot here, but he was really winning the fight on his feet, standing up. He needs to know that that's where the flow of this fight needs to go.
Looked like it was going to get feisty there at the end of that round, but they help each other up. Big breaths from our Bob. Up until that ground game there.
Yeah, but here's what I'm talking about. Early in the first round exchange, the guard was open. Oleg could have backed out. Here he's in the closed guard. And honestly, I know Oleg's on top, but I feel that as far as who might end the fight right there, who's in a dominant spot, the position might be for Oleg, but Ababov is in his home. He's in a position to throw up a submission in the fight that really caused him damage.
And Oleg's striking was point really good on point, very loose, very relaxed. Sorry, coach, pause there for a second, pause, because I see the coach tending to the hand of Oleg, that right hand they're talking about. I think it's his thumb he's talking about, maybe jarred it, or it might be something to do with the glove, an issue there, but that could be another reason why he looks to stay in the guard there. If he has damaged his right hand, we'll see, we'll find out.
Then just use the other one. Stay on your feet and just pepper him with jabs.
There's a fighter for you. Just use the other one.
Is that what you got too?
So round 2 set here at ACB 55. Oleg Kakaturov in the blue corner. Iftikhar Ababov in the red. There's that jab again.
Ababov needs to come behind multiple jabs, moving his head. There, combination. But doesn't, he's a powerful guy, so I feel like when he's throwing these shots, he's falling in love with throwing them. But really, he needs to get the fight to the ground. Throw those hard shots, and then go for a takedown.
Use them to work in there, and they're back in the clinch. Oleg has a cut on his right elbow, must be from dropping those on the ground at the end of the first round.
That's a hard head when the guy cuts his elbow on you.
That's right, when you get the damage and you're throwing it.
See that, he landed a good shot, but then it was more, he admired his work. Instead of using that good left hook he just landed to go for a takedown.
Chopping for the leg, this is where he's so dangerous.
What a roll through for the knee bar. Now he's in a back step on top. That knee, that foot is still in danger. Oh, he opted to jump for the mount.
He's gone for control. And now Oleg is on the bottom here. A big smile from Ababov up at the referee before he looks to go to work.
Ababov is stretching him out. He's got the leg up. He might be falling back for that right leg of Oleg.
Very heavy on top, very powerful on top, but with that frame you wouldn't expect that amount of athleticism, the way he rolls, the way he rolls.
As powerfully as he's built, his ankles, his hips, his very flexible guy.
Just dropped a heavy elbow there on the side, just by the ear of Oleg.
Great job of Oleg. He was able to push the elbow, rotate out on the other side.
Now he's got to stay composed, because coming off the back of being in that sort of danger with Ababov, feeling the speed and the technique that he has.
Coming forward is scary.
Looking to establish some control in this round of his own.
Oleg he lands good shots that get the respect of Oleg. But Ababov needs to, after he lands that shot, see right there. Oh!
Fainted for that, and now he's on the neck. Look at this!
Done.
Oh my goodness!
Fight's over there.
Oleg trying to pop his head out, but that looks deep. Oh, Ababov.
Wow! With this?
How has he survived this long? Oh my goodness!
Wow!
He smiles at Ababov as his head pops out.
He did not defend that at all correctly. He didn't pull his hips up, he didn't drive forward. He just gutted it out and was able to pull his head out. That is not the classical defense, I should say the least.
But what an entry for that fake on the takedown.
Yeah, faked the takedown sprawl. I mean, he faked all out of his pants there. Snatched up the guillotine and had it deep. No arm in. I had the head, the hips were on the right side. I thought that was over with.
We talk about different body types. Oleg has a much smaller head than Al-Bobov. And it's tough when Stephen Wonderboy Thompson managed to survive that against Tyron Woodley, that deep thing. Woodley said he reckoned it was the size of his head that helped him pop it back out and survive. Now,
well, here now, Oleg has passed the guard. He survived already a guillotine attempt. Why not just stand up and make this a stand-up fight again?
You have to ask as well how much of Bobov's cardio went out on that, how much of his arms did he put into that choke?
Missing a guillotine is awful, because it's a full body, you squeeze into it.
30 seconds left in this second round. Again, Bobov just firing a shot across the bow there, letting him know, letting Oleg know he's still dangerous.
Oleg, you know what? As good as he is on his feet, he is very good on the ground. I think maybe that's why he feels comfortable in this range, where really it's the greatest opportunity for Bobov to win, but he's staying in great position.
Big strikes there in the statement for Oleg to survive that amount of pressure on the guillotine. And it's Bobov that's taking his time to get back to his corner.
He's able to get up. Here's the fake. Here's the guillotine. It's on. He throws it in. He's fine. He's got the head to the right side, but wasn't able to finish. Oleg is tough. He gets up top and just rains down ground and pound. And not only was that a victory to get out of that submission, but a psychological one that's going to have great impact in this third round, is that Oleg probably locked up a submission that he felt very confident in. I feel confident that he probably had it. And Oleg pulled out of it. That messes with your head as a submission artist just as much as a knockout guy landing his best punch on somebody and them smiling at you. You lack a submission on somebody and they don't really get out the right way. They kind of just power through it.
Yeah.
It can be psychologically devastating.
And Oleg, as well, as he popped his head out, gave Bobov a smile, stuck his tongue out and said, "I'm still here." We're set for round 3 here at ACB 55, this lightweight bout. Oleg Katarov in the blue corner. Iftikhor Al-Bobov in the red.
Третий, заключительный раунд.
A lot of water on Oleg as well. Not Oleg, sorry, Al-Bobov. And a more laboured return to his stool after the end of that round. Oh, but big shot still from the Tajikistan fighter. That jab for me has got to be my favourite. It's the most simple, most fundamental move of the fight, but it's been the most effective as well.
Oleg's using it textbook. He's throwing it. He's not putting his weight forward over his knee. He's able to keep his hips underneath of him, which is why he's allowed to sprawl the way he is. And here he's sprawling almost with the incentive to attack.
And he's dropped into his guard there.
Confidence in his groundwork. And really what he's saying about avoiding the ground with Bobov, it's not that Oleg is obviously very well-rounded. It's just that because he's so well-rounded, I felt that he had such a great advantage on his feet. Why even go where Bobov has no knockouts on his record? So, but he has 11 submissions. Take the fight with a guy, you know, beat me somewhere where you haven't shown that you can win. That's what I always think in a fight. Like, if you are going to beat me, let me try to put you in waters that you're not known for. I don't want you to beat me the way you beat everybody else. You know, let me try to challenge you.
But now Oleg making a statement by sitting in Al-Bobov's world and being very effective. Fatigue definitely a consideration. But Oleg putting on the pressure. peppering with shots. And the referee said he's asking for more action. You cannot just turtle up no matter how the shots are seen as far as power. Yeah, the referee is asking for more. He's going to call this unless Abobov shows him something. But Oleg just up it up. And there we go. Look at that.
Like he called it, it wasn't like the shots that were going to start becoming more and more devastating, but it was just from the lack of activity on his part, visibly fatigued, that Orad was able to get down on top and be able to get the fight to go finish.
And a little thumbs up in recognition that Frank Mir just saw what he did there. And let's talk through some of this action. This is just the end of the fight.
They're just finishing off all the work that he's done, you know, on his feet. Brilliant jab, cross, skated distance the whole time, was able to defend. Showed great resilience to be able to get out of the guillotine like he did, came on top, and showed great bravery in not only beating him where, you know, he was winning the fight where he should be winning it, but then challenged Abobov at what he does well also, and went into his world and beat him at that also. A superb win for Orad.
Great, great performance. And we hand it back to our MC for the evening, Alexander Zagovsky.
Рефери поединка Шота Шугян остановил бой через 2 минуты и 21 секунду заключительного третьего раунда. Техническим нокаутом добивания победу одержал Олег Хачатуров, Украина. И аплодисменты его сопернику Ифтихору Анфолову.
Very disappointed Abobov, but obviously a very happy Oleg Kakaturov as well. Stunning performance. And coming out of that gym with Mariat Balayev, our featherweight champion as well, really does show the quality of fighters they've got down there at Raw. And another great performance, fantastic stuff. There we go, just thanking the crowd. And what a great crowd they've been here at ACB 55. Great energy, great attendance.
Добро пожаловать, боец из России. Встречайте Крача Босиня!
So we are set for the next bout here. And yet another great fight they put on the cards for us today. Grachik Bozinian, the Russian fighter, 5 wins, all by finish, 4 submissions, 1 KO. Really, really exciting fight. Only 20, 21 years old, I believe. Submission specialist. Going up against a much more experienced fighter. But this will be a real test for him. These are the moments in a fighter's career where they take those little steps up in level. And if you've been dominated with like your 4 submissions and your 1 KO, this will really say, are you ready to fight with the big boys?
And I love his style. He throws heavy punches, heavy kicks, but he likes the ground. But instead of the kind of guy that sets up his takedowns and punches, he wants to beat you into taking him down, and is very active off his back and very slick, and transitions to many of the submissions off of your takedowns.
Absolutely. He's got 2 losses on his record, but actually one of them, I've watched it back, he's in a fight, and it's a clean, it's almost the first punch of the fight, knocked someone out, and then they called it an eye poke. So it's he's only got 1 real loss on his record, so a tough fighter, and looks in fantastic shape for this as well. Obviously aware that he's stepping up in competition, stepping up into the light of ACB contenders for this middleweight division, a division that is absolutely stacked, and looking to make his mark here at ACB 55.
В красный угол поднимется спортсмен, также представляющий Российскую Федерацию. Встречайте, Шамиль Абдулхаликов!
And here comes Shamil Abdulkhaligov, former champion for Pro FC, so an elite level. Last fight was at ACB 48, very disappointed in his performance there. He fought Michael Surayev, and Surayev just dominated him, finished it in the first round. Apart before that, he was on a 9-fight win streak, and a devastating striker as well.
Sometimes success can be your own worst enemy, because you can become complacent on win streaks. You go on you get comfortable with victories. Sometimes it takes away. Nothing like having a loss to reinvigorate you into the gym. And usually that's the worst time to face a guy. He comes off a bunch of wins, he loses one. You know that he's going to be angry, especially the loss he had. Not his best performance. It wasn't like he came out game and the other guy really took advantage of him. It came to a situation where he was really just not at his best. So we're going to see a revigorated version of him. Hopefully he's going to step up and come back to his old form.
Very excited to see him back in the cage. But this will be a case of how does he respond to that loss as well. Because he was on that win streak, he looks like he was set to be one of the next contenders in the middleweight division. That belt is still vacant. They're still looking to see who will take it. And then to come off that loss, we will see exactly what he's made of, not just physically, but mentally in this bout at ACB 55.
Знакомьтесь с соперниками. Боец в синем углу. Ему 21 год. Рост 182 сантиметра, вес 84 килограмма ровно. Профессиональный рекорд 7 боев, 5 побед, 2 поражения. Его стиль ММА. Дамы и господа, из Воронежа, Россия, Грача, Позинян! Его соперник в красном углу клетки. Бойцу 28 лет, рост 185 сантиметров, вес 83,8 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд состоит из 16 боев, 12 побед, 4 поражениях. Его стиль также ММА. Дамы и господа, из Махачкалы, Россия, Шамиль Абдулкаligov! Рефери поединка Виктор Корнеев.
Бить в голову и корпус, кроме локтей по направлению 12-6. В партере коленом и ногой работаем только по корпусу. Сетку, шорты, перчатка не хватаем. Слушай меня на протяжении всего боя. Пожали руки. Разошлись по углам.
So we're set for this middleweight bout. Grachin Bozimian in the blue corner. Shamil Abdulkhaligov in the red. Brazilian, you can see just with his frame, he carries a lot of power. Oh, he's already talking to each other. Nice kicks as well. They come up quick from that lead leg. Shamil's got to be very, very careful. He does keep his head upright when he makes those entries. Brazilian's got some big right hands. Oh, spinning kick, look at that. He means business.
Through the spin kick, or spinning back knuckle, came up with a roundhouse. Looked like it landed with shin, and landed another shot afterwards. Shamil's.
Oh, that's a big right hand.
Caught him with that shot. Shamil's fighting him off, trying to defend himself from getting taken down there completely. And now he's able to close the guard and kind of survive through. Looks like he's starting to already identify that arm. See how he's rotating over? He's using the hand to push his hips that way too. But Grachia is doing a good job. See how his legs are on the outside, kind of shrouding the hips? It makes it very hard for him to back out to either side.
Grachia has got some great transitions, very slick up his back.
Oh, he had an omoplata there. Now he's jumping up for a triangle. Grachia has already turned in the corner before he's able to lock it up.
I
don't know if he's able to lock it up here. Up. That's starting to get scary. Oh, that's getting real scary.
Look at the taste tap so quickly there. What a finish.
Wow.
What a finish. Shamil came out guns blazing. The spinning back fist. Some powerful punches dropped Virginia. But then, when he got him up against the cage, stepped into his guard, and I talked about the transitions off his back. Once he locked that up, that was beautiful technique.
And that was a difficult spot to pull that off. You've seen he was blocking the hips, able to lock up, and it was not allowing Gutierrez to move left and right, and he still was able to go ahead and slide over, locked up. It looked like Shamil was able to pass the triangle before it got locked up, but Gretchen was able to block with his hands. It looked like the hips to keep him from forwardly advancing any further, and was able to lock up that triangle and just impressive.
Минута и 42 секунды первого раунда. Удушающим приемом треугольник. Победу одержал Крача Босинян! И аплодисменты его сопернику Шамилю Абдулхаликову.
I said one of these fighters would be looking to make a statement here for that vacant middleweight belt. And Bosinian did exactly that.
Gretchen, what an impressive exchange there. What a display of surviving a strike, going for submissions off his back.
Представляем вам трехраундовый поединок в полусреднем весе. Синий угол клетки. Добро пожаловать, боец из Кыргызстана. Встречайте, Яркенбек Мансуров!
So the fights keep rolling here in Dushanbe, Tajikistan at ACB 55. What a night it's been, what a performance we've had from all the fighters so far. Really been welcomed well, and a great show put on by Dobrov Fights. Young promotion that organised MMA fights over here. Named after the Persian King Dobrov. Great history there, he's known as kind and gracious, and they've been that to us as we've been welcomed with open arms into this city of Dushanbe. Some key people here as well. Really made a point of saying hello and letting us know how happy they are. A big MMA event like ACB 55 has come. This is the second one. We had ACB 27, now ACB 55. Davron Jurayev, as well as his brother Dishon Jurayev, the director of Young Enterprises Club. Really impressive stuff what they put on here and what they've managed to put together here in Tajikistan. And what we've seen from the fighters from Tajikistan is there is an MMA scene here, and it certainly looks to be thriving. Next up, we've got this fight. Erinbek Mansurov has entered the cage.
Красный угол клетки. Добро пожаловать, боец из России. Встречайте, Имран Апаев!
Next up, here comes Imran Abayev, an absolute specimen, a huge fighter for the weight class. Coming off the back of a loss, ACB first 43 from a fighter we saw earlier, Igor Fernandez. But has taken people like Sharaf Davlatmuradov, one of our headline fighters here tonight, to a draw. So you know he's tough, you know his skills. But look at that frame. He looks at 2 weight classes above his opponent, Mansurov.
And also, too, talking to some of the guys there at ACB, he's a pleasure to have in the camp. And, you know, training every day, even if you're doing something you love, it can be grueling. You need guys like Imran who are in the camp, have a good sense of humor, they lighten up the mode, you know, and keep everything going. So, you know, not every day is going to be a stellar day. There are those days you come dragging your bag in, and, you know, you can think of several other places you might rather be than that moment. And then you guys got like an Imran who lighten up the mood, and, you know, they're highly skilled fighter, has attributes as far as technique to the gym, well-rounded, very well-established mixed martial artist, but brings that extra edge of just, you know, camaraderie, and it makes a team that much better. And that's what makes a lot of guys so great right now is the team format of training with other guys to bring each other up.
Yeah, they talk about it as potentially the most solo sport you can think of. Being locked in the cage, man on man, woman on woman, skill against skill. But that camp is so important, and to get through 6, 8, 12 weeks, through injuries, through the early mornings, the late nights, the weight cuts.
Yeah, you gotta like the guys you're training with, because realistically, you're spending more time with them awake than you do with your own wife and kids.
Итак, знакомьтесь, боец в синем углу. Ему 20 лет, рост 179 сантиметров, вес 76,7 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд — 1 бой, в котором он одержал победу. Его стиль — боевое самбо. Дамы и господа, из Бишкека, Кыргызстан, Яркенбек Мансуров. И его соперник в красном углу. Ему 28 лет, рост 183 сантиметра, вес 77,4 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд — 5 боев, 3 победы при 2 поражениях. Его стиль — вольная борьба. Дамы и господа, из Грозного, Россия, Имран Апоев. Инструктаж от рефери поединка Виктора Корнеева.
Вася, слушай внимательно, работаем 3 раунда по 5 минут. Еще раз напоминаю, головой бить нельзя, по затылку, позвоночнику бить нельзя. Локтем можно бить и в голову, и в корпус, кроме локтей по направлению 12-6. В партере коленом и ногой работаем только по корпусу, по ногам. Шорты, перчатки, сетку не хватаем. Слушай меня на протяжении всего боя. Пожали руки. Даже слив по углам.
Another thing you can see here is that one camp has weight cutting down really well, and another one is maybe new to it.
Well, the size difference is certainly the most prominent things when they did the stare down there as they'll get the final instructions. Mansurov in the blue corner, Abayev in the red. Really does look like man against boy here. Will Mansurov be able to avoid the power? Oh, and even that body kick looks heavy.
Quick.
Possibly to the cup there, the referee just checking.
But though you still see the skill level of Abayev. He's not just looking over the guy who just, he feels, a lot of inexperienced fighters will sit there and go, well, I'm just going to run this guy over. And that's when you end up staring at the rafters, the lights, and you're kind of asking what happened. Right there, he came in, got a right hand.
Oh, Mansurov is game moving forward with some big shots.
Mansurov showing that he's here to fight.
Very quick hands as well. Nice hips.
Wow, was able to, he got that cross face, he was able to walk his hips out, got his feet out from underneath him, or kept his feet underneath him, was able to block that first takedown attempt.
With the muscle mass that Abayev is obviously carrying, he's had some questions over his cardio. He's got into those later rounds, those muscles need fuel, and maybe Mansurov, if he can get it past this first round into the second, third, then the fight will swing more into his advantage. But he's shown his game, those early exchanges, he's thrown with
that was
power.
smart. He's right off the bat, he's earned the respect of Abayev. Abayev is not just running him over right now. He has a size advantage. He's a heavily muscular guy here, experienced, great camp. But already that first exchange from Mansurov has shown that, you know, I'm not to be taken lightly.
Mansurov showing discipline as well. Obviously looking for those counters. Knows that Abayev is going to look to make an entry and is going to try and make him pay for those.
Well, it looks like he wants to throw the second shot. He's hoping that... I don't know what's going on. Oh.
There'll be a warning. The closed fist, so that's the new rule here. In 2017, it's actually an offense to have your fingers extended.
Nice crisp 1-2. So what Mansurov is trying to do is, after Abayev starts his combination, he's hoping to maybe pull from it, maybe step to the side of it, so that way Abayev maybe be off balance, and that's when he wants to start his combination.
Abayev using that long jab.
But the risk is, if your opponent hits you first, you're letting him go first. There is a risk that counter fight game.
Mansurov already wearing on his left eye some of the damage from that long jab here. The crowd gave him a little boo there for maybe some timidity, but that right hand caught Mansurov. Oh, big hands. Oh, and a knee right in front of us here. Back to that stalking game, but Mansurov is so game.
He has just this going second to start to catch up to him. Abayev is big, but he's quick, and his jab is pretty straight on the line, so he's very effectively getting that first shot in, and so then Mansurov thinks he's in a counter, he's put off balance. No matter what, when you get caught with that stiff jab or that first shot, it throws your nervous system off for a blink of an eye. Well, guess what? Your opponent, he has a second, third shot following that up, and now you're trying to play catch-up. That waiting for the other guy to throw only works if you make him miss. But if he lands that jab, well, now he went first and he scored first. He's most likely going to score second and third now.
30 seconds left in this first round, and the damage on the nose there from those clean jabs from Abayev. One on the face of Mansurov. The crowd again, they've been treated to such great fights so far tonight. But this really is a chess match, isn't it? There's discipline and awareness that both fighters have got power. Both have shown each other respect off the back of that as well.
I don't know, here's now me, always the looking for loopholes, I guess. I don't know now with the new rules, if you see your opponent doing what Mansurov is doing with his hands extended illegally, fingers towards you, you threw a punch that kind of brought your head in and you ran into his hands, yeah, you could get him to lose points on a foul now.
Yeah.
I mean, not that maybe driving your fingers on those fingers is the best idea. I mean, we can throw it around and work on the idea, but you know, you see someone expose their fingers like that
repeatedly as well. They've had the warning already.
There you see this, both guys right off the bat. Again, that's just the tail of the first round. Is that Mansurov is allowing, you know, he's waiting for the initial attack of Abayev, but then he's trying to throw something afterwards. He's had some limited success with it, but for the most part, action beats reaction. So Abayev going first, being longer and quicker, he's scoring. Abayev, you know, you can counterfight, but you also have to throw shots first. You can't always wait for the other guy to go.
And both fighters had explosive moments in that fight, but not at a high-level pace. Great to see there, Mansurov giving the camera a thumbs up, showing that he's enjoying himself. What a nice way to spend an afternoon getting punched in the face.
Yeah, but you get to punch other people in the face too.
So we're set here for round two in this welterweight contest. Erkinbek Mansurov in the blue corner, Imran Abayev in the red. Let's see if we have more of the same, or if any one of the fighters is going to look to impose. Now we see, there you go, going first this time. Mansurov maybe getting that advice from his corner, not wait for those second shots. Maybe first and third might be a better option. Certainly one the crowd are preferring. Oh, and he connects there.
Yeah, he was able to catch Abayev off balance. Wasn't in a great position to move out of the way. Caught him with a good right hand, left hook.
Abayev backing him up, using the cage to try and cut those angles. And now going for the takedown, and clean and quick on the entry, and straight on his back Mansurov with 4 minutes left in this round.
His hand might get trapped here. You see that Abayev is trying to trap it down. He's reaching from underneath.
Using those long limbs. Half guard now. Now we'll see exactly how good the jiu-jitsu is of Mansourov. A martial art brought to help the smaller man beat the bigger man. He's going to have a lot of technique to to deal with the power. And
yeah, right now he's Bayev has the underhook. He's cutting the knee down, and then really, if he wants to, he can bring the knee across the body and go for a three-quarter mount. And right there against the cage, Mansourov is going to have really nowhere to sweep or push off, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Oh, he's now in the beat-down position.
That's not good. Still 2 minutes 50 seconds to go as well in this second round. Locking up, look at that, there we go. I think he locked up a Kimura on that side.
I didn't quite see it at the cage there, but yeah, he locked up the arm. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a better shot angle on the replay.
And if he had hold of my arm with a man with that amount of muscle, I'll be tapping quickly as well.
Did he catch an Americana or Kimura?
I'm not exactly sure. Here we should hopefully see.
Here he had the beatdown position.
Like to see that, have another look just to see what exactly he locked up there. We couldn't see from the camera angle, and the post was just blocking exactly what he put together. But as soon as he got to that side, whatever he locked up, Mansourov tapped quickly, so he obviously had it in deep and carrying a lot of power. Mansourov made the right choice, live to fight another day.
Итак, дамы и господа, время остановки боя 2 минуты и 18 секунд второго раунда. Полевым приемом на руку победу одержал Имран Апаев, Красный, Россия. И аплодисменты его сопернику Еркинбеку Мансурову.
So Imran Abayev takes that victory in the second round. Once he committed to that takedown, it was clean and easy, and once he got that top position, finished it quickly.
Дамы и господа, Лига ICB представляет вам трехраундовый поединок в легчайшем весе. Ваше внимание на экран.
Подготовка прошла отлично. Думаю, показать хорошее зрелище для своего народа.
Да, моя подготовка была в Пекине. Я тренировался в Китае и оттуда прилетел в Таджикистан.
Моим соперником должен был стать Евгений Лазуков, но он травмировался, и произошла замена на Бино Адаме. Думаю, это не станет для меня проблемой. В этом бою у меня будет поддержка зрителей, которые поднимут мой дух.
Соперник хороший, он дрался в NFC, он очень сильный, борец, очень сильный с духами. Когда выйду в ринге, тогда, думаю, будет не легко победить, буду стараться, чтобы победить.
Добро пожаловать, боец из Грузии. Встречайте, Бено Атамия!
So here comes Beno Adamina, fighting out of Georgia. Last fought at ACB 35. 3-0 at the minute, undefeated. Taking on a very, very tough test here. But he's a tough man himself. Powerful striker, and just causes damage in his last fight. Overwhelmed the young opponent. Caused massive damage to his nose. Caused a stoppage. And another clean, crisp victory. All wins in the first round as well. But coming up against somebody who has 10 first-round finishes themselves. When you see this on paper, these are the sort of fights that you feel grateful to be in cage side to witness live.
Beno Adamia is a strong fighter. Not only is he a great striker, but, you know, out of his 3 wins, 2 of them being submission wins, shows that he's also extremely well-rounded and still keeps that mentality of finishing the fights. The only time he's ever been the distance was a draw, which really is a win-win, because you've been the distance, you have that taste of not having victory, which drives you more in the gym, but you still didn't get a loss. Don't have that L. And so we'll see how he's been able to develop. He has a very early, young career, and he has a very good guy in front of him that he's facing tonight, but he has all the confidence in the short amount of fights that he should have that's garnered with being such an explosive finisher.
Alongside that explosiveness, his composure in the cage is one of his greatest attributes. Settles into a fight very, very quickly. And that can be key, can't it? That can be a key to taking the momentum early. So Beno Adamina has made his way. We welcome our next contestant to the cage.
В красный угол поднимется боец, носящий гордое прозвище Таджик. Из Таджикистана Бои!
Now you heard the response there. One of the local heroes here in Tajikistan fights for Dushanbe. Some vocals there at the start asking for the crowd to welcome him. A stunning talent, combat world Sambo champion, grappling champion as well, MMA champion in other promotions. And this man, he is 12 and 2, and he's been fighting professionally since he was 16 years old. This is in his blood, this is what he was born to do. And when you see a record like that with 12 wins all by finish, he backs it up every single time in the cage, doesn't he?
Yeah, and right now the next logical step for him is to come into an organization like the ACB, where he's going to be facing much steeper competition, not just, you know, the local guys, and see if he can keep that momentum going forward. He's already ran into some adversity where he's had guys take him to the distance and been successful there. So he's had tough fights, but obviously stepping up to this next level is really going to be a test to see how successful he really is. You see a guy that, you know, you see with 12 wins all by finish, 10 of them in the first round, you might call into question the level of competition, but you can answer all those questions by fighting in an organization like this.
Uses his combat Sambo base very well, 8 submission wins, but also has big powerful strikes, and it's hard to finish. The only losses on his record are 2 decisions. And those were tough battles. He throws everything into his strikes, and maybe as he matures, because despite having 14 professional fights, he's still only a young man, 20 years old. And as he matures, maybe managing that energy, that adrenaline as he comes into the cage, so that if, as the level goes up, he faces tougher competition as he is this evening, he will be able to manage that energy and last the rounds and take those decision wins if he needs to. Huge hometown support here from Dushanbe. Grew up here, learned his art here, and listen to the pop as he comes into the cage.
Итак, знакомьтесь с соперниками. Боец в синем углу. Ему 20 лет, рост 170 сантиметров, вес 61,7 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 3 боя, 3 победы. Его стиль ММА, дамы и господа, из Тбилиси, Грузия, Бено Адамия. Его соперник красного угла клетки. Ему также 20 лет, рост 170 сантиметров, вес 61,4 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 14 боев, 12 побед, 2 поражения и его стиль боевое самбо. Дамы и господа, из Душанбе, Республика Таджикистан, мы Таджик Гафуров! Рефери поединка Ашот Азуян.
После команды «Стоп» не работаем, все по правилам. Пожали руки. Удачи по углам.
Well, maybe way to start before the bell there, Muinga Furu. So Beno Adamia in the blue corner. Moin Gafurov in the red. Total different demeanours in the corner. Adamaya still stoic. Gafurov pacing around, watching his opponent and not wasting any time to throw some big shots. Swarms his opponents, overwhelms them early and looking to do the same right here, right now with Benno Adamaya.
That was a nice change of gears. He threw a couple, really menacing high kick to an overhand right, to a spin side kick. And then as you think that he's getting into a rhythm of throwing some big shots, boom, goes for a double leg takedown.
Now up against the cage. Applies that pressure, got some good throws, some good little ankle sweeps as well.
He's trying to use an inside leg, those are more tripping shots. They look great in the open.
Oh, looks like Benno Adamaya's injured. I don't know what happened there. Oh, eye poke. Gafurov, I think he thinks he's finished that. We need to have a look at the replay, exactly what happened there. And the doctor will be called in to check on this. I thought he actually got hit his leg the way he stepped back, but
referee's not putting him in the neutral corner though, so
now he is, there we go. Doctor just checking over Benno Adamaya. Hopefully we can get a replay of that just to see exactly what happened.
We can watch garage stretch.
It's a position you had to use earlier, I believe.
Yes, it was. A little lower though.
Everything thrown with power from Gafurov. And now he ends up on his back. Nice change of level from Benno Adamaya there as well.
Great underhook. Came right out. Adamaya tried to do a lateral drop. Very difficult throw right there, though. And now he's on his back for his effort.
2 minutes, 50 seconds left still in this round.
He's got the arm wrapped.
Look at the power that he puts behind these shots. Raining them down, the crowd responding as well. Referee on top. An up kick certainly caught him there.
Not enough to keep on the onslaught, though.
Now he's in mount. Flattens out his opponent. The referee is asking for some defense. Big shots, and that's it. He's called it. And look at the face of Moin Gafurov. Here in his hometown, putting a performance like that. That makes it 11 first-round victories.
Came out extremely dominant. Threw some heavy shots, fluid, relaxed the whole time. Really controlled the fight. Really, Adamaya never was really able to get into rhythm the whole time.
The up kick was potentially the only thing that caught him, but even that, he survived it and finished, swarmed him yet again.
Momentarily lapse of the punishment. Gafurov just unrelentless, came forward, strong, passing, there was the up kick, it hurt him for a second, but then got right back on point, was able to take the back, sink the hooks in, and Adamaya had nowhere to go. Completely, basically one-sided dominance by Gafurov.
Время остановки боя 3 минуты и 6 секунд первого раунда. Техническим нокаутом добивание победу одержал Моин Таджикистан!
A stunning performance there in his hometown of Dushanbe, and a big statement as well.
Дамы и господа, мы продолжаем, и все ближе и ближе главное событие сегодняшнего вечера. А сейчас Лига семьи представляет вам трехраундовый поединок в полном среднем весе. И в синий угол клетки добро пожаловать, боец из России. Встречайте, Станислав Власенко!
Стас Власенко в любой ситуации идет вперед до конца. Вот с такими соперниками очень тяжело что-то сделать, если досрочно его не выключить, а его очень сложно выключить, поэтому я думаю, такой бы на зубах прям.
Особо тактики как бы нет, также, я думаю, передышать, функционально подойти хорошо к нему. Открыто кидаться в борьбу не буду, и буду стойки работать и мешать с борьбой.
В целом я хочу и в борьбе попробовать, где-то и сам могу побороться, и позащищаться от борьбы. Да, ну, будем пробовать все по ситуации, потому что я еще не знаю, что Стас готовит. Я думаю, там будут сюрпризы, но мы готовы ко всему и будем навязывать свои идеи.
Я настраиваюсь на все 3 раунда и самым худшим настраиваюсь. Если будет такой вариант сделать болевой, то я воспользуюсь этим шансом. Любые шансы будут использовать.
Итак, противостояние двух россиян в синий угол Станислав Власенко. Добро пожаловать!
So here he comes, Stanislav Vlasenko, in a really exciting matchup here in the welterweight division. Loads of respect between him and Sergey Kahandoshko. But when it comes to the time for the cage door to close, both are looking to elevate their position in this welterweight rankings. Stanislav coming off the back of a very, very impressive win. There's been questions about his cardio. He throws everything into every shot. And in his last fight, back at ACB 48, stunning performance against Andrei Chibataru. Got the decision win there and shows that he can go those 3 rounds, and that is part of his game that he's evolved over these last 6 months, 12 months.
Well, Stanislav, but when you watch his style of fighting, it's not that he doesn't train for the fight, but like you said, his style jumps through the air, Superman punch, flying knees. He throws not the most efficient techniques, but he goes crazy. He's all offense, which sometimes causes him to get in trouble, but at the same time, that's what causes him to get fatigued. You can't throw all these high output moves and not suffer the repercussions of the cardio kind of going away with it.
Красный угол приглашается также боец из России, носящий прозвище Honda. Встречайте, Сергей Ханташов!
So here he comes, Honda Sergey Kahandoshko, a real character of the ACB League, one of the big personalities, and also one of the most technically gifted fighters we've got. Coming off the back of a loss in Moscow, his hometown, against Benny Alloway, got taken out in that fight. And after that, he talked about going back to training. He said didn't feel 100% for that fight, taking nothing away from Benny Alloway. Benny was well on point there, had the timing and the mark of the man in Moscow. But he went back, reassessed, regrouped, went out to Thailand, trained alongside Sharaf Davlatmuradov over at Top Team Phuket. And has really just come back mentally in a better place than he was before he walked into Moscow. Felt a lot of pressure fighting in his hometown. And now he's here in Tajikistan. That's taken away. He's relishing the fact that he's up against another top contender, someone who's coming off the back of the win, so he appreciates that. And now we will see how he responds to that loss, if he can get that momentum back and march back towards that welterweight title.
Yeah, and Sergey is an excellent striker, very efficient, pretty much the polar opposite of what you see with Stanislav. Sergey has no wasted movement, extremely efficient. He's like a viper out there, extremely clean, extremely precise, and really a joy to watch as far as if you want to see technical MMA striking.
A true personality of the sport as well. Great to talk to him. When you get to meet these fighters, there's the stoic traditional demeanor you get with some of them. But Kandoshko is just a ball of energy, smiles all the time. Outside the cage, enjoys playing computer games, hanging out with his mates, doing that sort of thing, living a normal life. But when he's in the cage, he says that all switch off, it all changes. From that smiley man, he turns into the animal we see in the ACB cage. And this will be a tough, tough test against Stanislav Lysenko.
Итак, представляю вам соперников и первого бойца в синем углу. Ему 24 года, рост 175 сантиметров, вес 77,5 килограмм. Профессиональный рекорд 10 боев, 8 побед при 2 поражениях. Его стиль — вольная борьба. Дамы и господа, из Красноярска, Россия, Станислав Lysenko. А вот его соперник в красном углу клетки. Бойцу 24 года. Рост 185 сантиметров, вес 77,6 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 27 боев, 23 победы, 4 поражения. Его стиль — тайский бокс. Дамы и господа, из Москвы, Россия, Сергей Фонда Кантошко. Рефери поединка Ашот Ашугян.
Внимательно слушаем. После команды стоп не работаем. Локтями бьем, коленями в голову только в стойке. В партере активность, все по правилам, все знаете. Пожали руки. Удачи. По углам.
So we're set. Off we go. Lysenko in the blue corner, Sergey Kandoshko in the red. Notice something on the mats there. Referee hasn't called for the clock to stop. So we reset and we're off again.
Yeah, technically, I mean, good thing both guys are, I guess, good sportsmen, because technically, that's the, you got to protect yourself at all times component of the fight. If one of them wanted to take a cheap shot, would have been legal.
Lysenko looking to apply the pressure and the clinch to Sergey. One of the areas that people have highlighted with Sergey is this clinch, is the ground game. He's been working on that, entered combat sambo tournaments, just trying to up his level of grappling. Actually started as a wrestler, he's known as a striker, but early days when he got into martial arts, it was wrestling that brought him into the sport.
Well, he has the body lock right now. He's going to try to trip to his right, abandon it. But now Stanislav's low on the hips. He needs to dig that right arm underneath Stanislav's left arm and nullify him to be able to drop down.
Stanislav got a very grueling type of fight. Always puts it on you, adds the pressure. Very interested to see the fact he's looking to take it and straight into mount, but Sergey not.
Sergey was able to post up, immediately got his hips back up, and really for a second there I almost kind of held my breath, because as Sergey was being taken down, he almost got his foot trapped behind him. I don't know if you saw that. That's always an injury that scares me, because it can be very detrimental to the fighter, and it's one of those just freak accidents that occur during the combat.
Well, you see, if you lose anything down there, you twist an ankle, your Achilles goes. So much of your base, so much of your power, your movement. Sergey Honda now pushing forward. Lysenko faking with that takedown, but managed to catch the leg, now back against the cage, clinching.
Sergey was able to land, it looked like a good right hand there, and kind of, you know what, it looked like he meant to throw that left kick, but because he questioned the strike as he threw it, he didn't have the authority or the drive behind it to make it a significant shot, and it made it much easier for Stanislav to catch it, turn him towards the cage, and now he's having to fight off. Sergey's fighting off the takedown attempts of Stanislav.
I do like the game plan of Stanislav as well. He feinted a couple of times with those takedowns before. Actually, it was catching the leg that led him to this position, but keeping Honda thinking.
You do. You have to give your opponent multiple things to worry about. Anytime someone, it works sometimes in rare cases where someone is so good at one aspect of the game that they can just look.
Oh! Spinning elbow there, connects clean. And we talked about the spinning attacks.
Yeah,
Lysenko, but how did Sergey Honda survive that?
Now he's trying to push for an anaconda choke himself, it looked like.
Sergey's still not 100%.
No. Sergey, Stanislav looked like he was in a break, and sometimes that happens. That comes from a lot of sparring.
Again?
Yeah, I think the second time he was ready for it, though. He backed away. It looked like he was in a break to clinch, and Sergey felt like there was going to be that mutual, and we had that in fighting, that kind of mutual consent that, okay, you're going to take a break, I'm going to take a break, and people relax. And really, there's an opportunity that you can catch your opponent off rhythm. And that's what we saw right there.
Oh, now Sergey looking to put some pressure on Lysenko. Shows sort of chin that Sergey's got to take it clean like that and come back.
He tried to go for a double takedown there, has the underhook, and Stanislav made this mistake of stepping over the hips, and that's what allowed Sergey to come back up, and now they're locked up against the clinch in the fence.
50 seconds left in this first round here. Lysenko working relentlessly on these clinches up against the cage. I said his gas tank had been questioned in other fights. He proved us wrong in his last one. Maybe that's something that he's now leaning on, this cardio, this aggression, this grueling side of the game. Just 10 seconds left now. Sergey looking to lock something up himself there, but maybe just looking to wear the clock down.
No, I don't know. He's threatening with the guillotine, but now has that underhook. Oh, here comes a spin.
Yep.
I think the guy in the bathroom saw that coming.
What a first round, though, for Lysenko there. As far as game plans go, really did put a good... Oh, and there's the elbow. We look back at that.
He was breaking away from the clinch, through the spin, and one hell of a shot. Was able to survive, used it by attacking from the bottom, locked up that leg, looked like he was going to try to spin for a knee bar attempt, then abandoned it to come back up on the leg, missed that, but was able to drive up into the clinch and get the separation, and initiated his own attack after that.
Certainly coming with a stronger game plan, implementing it as well, not let Sergey get into his. And one of the things that I do like about it, and they've certainly done their homework, is if you apply the pressure to Sergey, don't let him judge the distance, then you can keep it in your world. And up against the cage, Lysenko has shown some real skills as well.
Oh, that was a beautiful spin technique he did. The downfall is the cat's out of the bag. Sergey is, very high level striker. You can catch anybody off guard once. It'll be interesting to see if Stanislav has something else to go with that, or if was his new technique he used for this matchup, and now it's been exposed.
We go off again. Round two here. Lysenko starting again with the clinch. Looks to be more venom on the pops of Kandoshko's kicks and entries there.
Yeah, he's doing kind of a jumping front kick. I think it'd be more effective to be a little closer to the jump knee. He wants to use that left leg to come up into the midsection or the head of Stanislav.
That's the third time that Stanislav's been able to use that kick to be able to get a clinch or even a takedown. So
yeah, he's not having enough power behind it. I don't feel like that's a great exchange.
We careful with his neck here.
Stanislav is pushing hard.
Right in front of us. Sergey has his hands locked, but high up. Gets the takedown, nice turn there.
Kept the head high up there on the avoid the guillotine attempt.
Now we see Sergey Honda on top with 3 minutes 30 seconds still to go in this round. And at this point, after having a round where you've been rocked, you've gone back, you've been taken out of your world into Lysenko's, is it a case of trying to get around now, build that confidence and get some momentum your side of the cage?
You do, especially after, you know, absorbing a powerful shot. You're still kind of getting your feet underneath you. So this is a perfect position for Sergey to be, because he can tax the gas tank of Stanislav, which, you know, like we've been saying, could be questionable, and at the same time gathering his wits about him and winning the round.
Good chunk of Sergey Honda's camp was out at Thailand, the top team Phuket, along with a number of ACB fighters.
This is great for Sergey, because Stanislav is doing really nothing but clinching and trying to tie him up. That's fatiguing out his arms. He's made no attempt to really get back up to his feet. It looks to me that he has the kind of, let me stall it out enough to get the referee to start it up, but Sergey is too busy on top that that's not going to be the case. Now that if he can keep that left foot, Sergey can keep Stanislav's left foot on his hip, Stanislav will not be able to stand up in this position. Sergey stuffs it down. But see, he stuffed it down, and that's what allowed Stanislav to stand up. But that was because he thought he was passing into a better position, but really he was in a great position.
Yeah. Now Stanislav has turned it round. We talked again about it being that inches, choices, little decisions, and that decision there to allow Stanislav to get that leg under him. And now we have Sergey battling back himself, though it is a chess match once again.
Well, now they're in a grueling back and forth exchange where really by having, in wrestling they call it shelving a leg, when the person's foot that has hip that's closest to the, maybe an anaconda.
Looking to drop for that anaconda and roll now.
Oh, he has it.
Look at this. Right in front of us, he's transitioned into that.
Oh, Sergey needs to unwrap his legs and get out of there. Instead, I think he's wrapping the legs of Stanislav, which that's not what he wants to do. It's keeping his hips close to his head.
Stanislav's fingers.
The grips are out, yeah.
That's what I was going to say. The fingers are just loosening on the bicep. Again, we've seen another escape from a technique that wouldn't traditionally be used.
No, you don't really want to bring your hips close to the choke, because now it's driving your spine, it's crushing your ribs. What Sergey did there was able to basically avoid the grip of Stanislav, and it broke out. The gamble paid off for him. Had that been tight like Igor Fernandez's choke, that wouldn't have worked.
Sergey Honda right in front of us now, dropping down. Elbows to the body and to the head here. Only 30 seconds left in this round. Totally different from the first one. Honda having much more success.
This fight might be 1 round to 1 round, because I think the most significant shot in that first round coming from Stanislav, I mean, obviously rocked Sergey, but Sergey has completely dominated this round, been in dominant position.
Minus the anaconda attempt, which he managed to escape and end up in this position. But control-wise, damage-wise as well. There we go. I think there we had another one of those gentlemen's agreements where the last 5 seconds will just breathe.
Hard fight. Both guys are, here you see.
Very
sat down with a head outside single, switched it up, stood back up to his feet there. Instead of going for the double, he decided to lock up for the body lock. And that was opened him up for the anaconda choke. Stanislav sat to his butt, wrapped the legs, and really, Sergey also continued to wrap his legs, swept and got on top. Maybe he felt what we saw, that the grip, when you lock up an anaconda choke, if you could go back and watch Igor's earlier, you want the hand to be wrist deep, okay, on top of your own forearm. If you're choking and only your hand, the outside, like the chopping karate part of your hand, like the your pinky side is resting in the crook of your arm, then it causes there's a lot of bend in the wrist, and it's just not a tight enough choke. You want to drive through to your forearm. The ulna bone is sitting on top of the bicep of the choke, and then you can hammer down and squeeze with a lot of intensity, and there it looked like he just didn't have it locked up tight enough, something that obviously Sergey was able to feel, and he opted to drive through and go on top and was able to, really was rewarded for it.
Nice moment between fighters. And we kick off round 3. Vlasenko in the blue corner, Sergey Honda in the red. This could be a case of who can establish, who can dominate early in this third and final round to catch the eyes of the judges. It's Vlasenko that shoots, but Sergey, well aware of that, sprawls.
Here comes the split again. Oh.
Sergey's still got some pop in those punches. Still light on his toes. It looks like Vlasenko breathing the harder of the two.
Is it me, or does it just look the way the Stanislav is he either loading the right hand? Oh, he has that double.
There you go, takes it down. Right in front of us yet again here at the commentary.
Oh, they're liking this spot over here, huh?
It's great.
I'm good, I just want no sweat on it.
Looks like Vlasenko controlling with great head position there.
Sergey works great, used the post to get his hips back up. Now he has a thumb block on that bicep, which puts a lot of force on that grip and really nullifies anything. Stanislav can't advance that position forward anymore. Oh!
Nice toss there, and now
what a hip toss.
Sergey Honda ends up in mount with an arm trapped as well. This could go into a triangle. But Vlasenko just boxed and boxed until he got free.
He did basically like a deep half guard sweep. He came out through the back door, he was able to get his arm up, and now he has his hands locked again, and watch, he'll be able to require another takedown. But Sergey this time is attempting to hit a switch. He has his left hand in there in the armpit, or the inside the inner thigh of Stanislav, trying to turn the corner, and now he's brought his arm back over.
3 minutes left in this third and final round. Back and forth yet again. Another great matchup, levels-wise, styles-wise. The fans here in Tajikistan, Dushanbe, have been treated to some absolutely unbelievable high-level martial arts.
Stanislav popped his head to the outside. He's trying to switch off to a double. Sergey is blocking the arm, but Stanislav is walking his knees up, and that's one thing you can be rewarded with here in MMA, is that the cage will stop your opponent's feet. You can walk forward on a failed double and drive up into a takedown attempt. Stanislav, though, or excuse me, Sergey, chipping away with those little elbows coming in. They are, I mean, the elbow to the head, there's no flesh there on either point. It's very jarring shots. They don't look hard, but they definitely get your attention.
Vlasenko not giving up on this single leg, though. The referee calls for some action. We questioned the cardio of Vlasenko early, but still driving forward with just 2 minutes left. Nothing highly offensive going on, but control-wise, Vlasenko certainly getting the better of this last minute and a half. The referee wants more action. Ooh. Kandoshko, hands on his knees there for a minute, had to dig deep for this last 1 minute 30 seconds. Who can make that statement? Who can come forward? Nice body shot there.
Wow.
Tired shot there from Sergey Honda. Actually ends up with Vlasenko back in the same position, right in front of us against the cage. Hands gripped on the single. Trying to trap that leg between his. .55 seconds left.
Sergey tried to split his hip, split his legs to make it hard for Stanislav to connect his hands. But he was able to, but at this point, it's such a battle for Stanislav to gain position every time he's attempting the takedowns. He hasn't really established a solid spot here in this round. You wonder if just time's gonna run out. Coming down now to 30 seconds. if he's not able to get into a position to get a submission or rain down punches to finish this fight.
Threatened there with the guillotine, but 20 seconds left. Sergey still trying to make something happen, but Lysenko's forward pressure, really the story of this round. Now Lysenko.
Oh, almost was able to take the back, but Sergey identified it, compromised, giving up his back to go ahead and give up side
A tough, equally fought battle there again. The judges will decide this one. Both fighters resting on each other.
There you see Sergey defend the shot, came right into throwing a heavy knee, which stunned and hurt Stanislav. Stanislav, though, was trying to step over and reap the leg, but Sergey was able to use that leg trip, Uchimata-style throw, tossed him over the hips and acquired a solid mount there. And one of the more defining movements of the techniques of the fight.
And who would have thought that we'd get to round 3 after that spinning elbow in round 1? Lysenko threw it. Sergey Honda ate it. Managed to survive in round 2. Arguably took round 2. That third round, for me, the control was with Lysenko, but again, very difficult to know what the judges are scoring it on. The judges are adding their scores up now. You can keep up with all the ACB action. Follow us on Facebook at ACBerkut, on Twitter at ACB_league, and on Instagram ACBMMA. Get involved, let us know what you think. Hashtag ACB55. We have 3 more bouts to go. 3 more exciting matchups. And we are yet to find out who is the winner between this tightly fought contest between Stanislav Lysenko and Sergey Khandoshko. Judges taking their time for this, still talking it through. They handed it now to Alexander Zagorski, who's making his way to the cage so we can find out who has taken this tough battle in the welterweight division. Neither fighter really celebrating, but such a tough call. So we'll hand it back to Alexander Zagorski for the result.
Итак, по завершении 3-раундового конкурентного поединка обратимся к судейским запискам. Итак, судья Магомедов, 29-28, Власенко. Судья Жолобов, 29-28, Хандошко. И судья Байсултанов, 29-28. Таким образом, раздельным решением судей победу одержал Сергей Honda Khandoshko.
So Sergey Honda Khandoshko takes that on a split decision. Lysenko looks astonished, and Sergey looks relieved, absolutely relieved. A tight call, that one. Again, it's difficult to know exactly what the judges saw as significant, what areas they scored. But let's not take anything away from that fight. What a close battle. What a really, really close battle.
Сергей, Организаторы говорят, что вы должны сказать несколько слов.
Вот сейчас похлопайте, пожалуйста. Вот сейчас. Друзья, в первую очередь я хотел сказать слова благодарности администрации, организаторам и ACB во главе с Мирбеком Хасиевым за то, что верите в меня, даете надежды. Вот, хоть я и провожу не самые зрелищные бои, но поверьте, я оставляю всего себя в зале. Это моя мечта, и я рано или поздно добьюсь. А вам за то, что вы делаете, спасибо большое за веру. И я рад быть частью такого грандиозного проекта, как ACB. Спасибо вам. Также хочу сказать большое спасибо своим командам. Это с недавних полстрела Тим во главе с Тарасом Кияшко. Я рад, что вы меня приняли в команду. Я буду доказывать, что я не отбываю это место просто так. Своей команде Индастриалс, Тиму, Саше Сидорину. И эту победу я хочу посвятить своей маме. Мам, ты сейчас смотришь со слезами на глазах, волнуешься за меня, прости за то, что столько нервов тебя убил. А ты мое все, и я это для себя делаю, чтобы ты гордилась. Спасибо, Душанбе. Я здесь.
So there we go, we got some words there from Karandoshko.
Дружелюбный, открытый народ.
And we get some more.
Спасибо.
He has thanked the promotion, Marabek Zayev, the owner of the promotion, for giving him the opportunity to get back in the ACB cage after 2 losses. And now that's a little comical moment. We're in a circus, can't find the exit. He thanks his training partners. Above all, he thanks his mum and the fans. He wants to be the ACB champion. And he's going to work hard to make that come true.
Представляет вам трехраундовый бой в легком весе. Ваше внимание на экран.
Первый цикл сборов проходил у себя в крае, национальная подготовка, вольной борьбой отрабатывала. Потом второй цикл проходил уже в спортивном клубе «Стрела», город Москва.
Я нахожусь в очень хорошей форме. Готовился в Таиланде. У соперника хорошая стойка, но и в борьбе он не плох.
Базовый борец, все бои, как бы посмотрел, в основном борьба на уровне. Ну, я готов.
У меня есть душевный настрой, так как я дерусь на своей земле.
И в синий угол добро пожаловать боец из России. Встречайте, Денис Канаков!
So here we go. Denis Kanakov making his way to the cage, 6-1 record. And you talk about fighters being in a vein of form. This man had 5 fights in 2016 and won them all. 1 decision, 3 KO finishes, and then 1 opponent disqualification through timidity. Scared the fighter so much that he basically just ran for the fight and the referee stopped it.
Did you see this fight?
I was here for that fight, yes. So the referee stopped it and the fighter didn't engage. Tried to get him again and it just kept backing off, so the referee called it. But Kanakov has been coming through the ranks now with that 5 wins in 2016. First of all, that is so active. But secondly, going up against this level of competition, that is impressive on any level, isn't it?
And you can have knockout submissions. We'll have I'm a little jealous, though. A win by passivity of the other guy. I mean, you intimidated the other opponent so bad he chose not to fight. That's
if me and you ever got in the cage, you might win by that. I'll tell you that now.
Красный угол клетки. Добро пожаловать, боец из Таджикистана. Встречайте, Файзи!
So here comes another fan favourite for Tajikistan. Aziz Tabatov. Only 2-0 in his MMA career, but yet again another Sambo champion out of this small state of Tajikistan. Also Pan-Croatian champion. Well-rounded and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. So you put them all together and you have a complete MMA fighter, don't you?
Yeah, the guys ran the gambit with the different methods, that different disciplines there are here that are highly effective in themselves and has been successful at all of them. That's very impressive. We'll see how well, though. I mean, 2-0, obviously he's had a great start to his professional MMA career, but, you know, how can he, well, is he going to put those disciplines together? Transitioning from, you know, a footlock and sambo to an arm bar, maybe in jiu-jitsu, to whatever takedowns, you know, stand-ups, you know, basically be able to incorporate all those styles together and have them flow is what, you know, now he's in the process of developing.
And he's got those grappling credentials, but he also shows heavy, heavy shots. Last fight here was at ATB 27 back in December 2015. And managed to finish that in the third round, late in the third round as well. KO finish, so he carries that power throughout the round. So if he can't stop you with his grappling, his submissions, you've always got to be aware that this man also has power, and you can see that by his frame.
Итак, представляю вам соперников и первого бойца в синем углу. Ему 26 лет. Рост 175 сантиметров, вес 70,6 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 7 боев. 6 побед и только одно поражение. Его стиль ММА, дамы и господа, из Барнаула, Россия, Денис Канаков. Его соперник в красном углу. Ему 28 лет. Рост 170 сантиметров, вес 70,8 килограмма. Профессиональный рекорд 2 боя, 2 победы. Его стиль вольная борьба. Из Душанбе, Республика Таджикистан. Встречайте, Файзи Табатов. Рефери поединка Виктор Корнеев.
Elbow to head on the... Okay, gentlemen, touch your gloves. Go corner, show clean fight.
Such intensity there. I am absolutely pumped for this fight. Kanakov in the blue corner, Tabatov in the red corner. Tabatov been doing most of his camp out of AKA Thailand. Some absolute animals out there, some great training. And Kanakov looking to take the centre of the cage early. Watch for that big right hand of Kanakov. Stalking his prey. Oh, catches him with that right hand there.
Wow, he had it loaded and he threw it. You're right. Right on the chin of Tabatov.
Then Tabatov jumped back up, but
that was a great shot right on the chin, spun his head. Great resilience and recovery for him to come up right now and already be back into the fight.
Early in the round there as well. Kanakov still happy with the clinch, maybe break away and re-establish those striking. Tabatov's so good in this position, so strong. Wait, oh that knee!
He's hurt bad.
Look at that, right to the solar plexus.
Back up, make him, now I'm coaching.
You're cornering that. Commentating, Frank, commentate.
Yeah, sorry. At least I don't forget about fighting, all right?
But now you can see the wind still out of Tabatov. He can't even move backwards properly.
Oh, what a tactical error I feel on Kanakov's part. If he would have just made the referee stand Tabatov off right now.
Same again with the cage when he had him hurt, and now he's giving Tabitov that time to recover, get his breath.
Yeah, in fact, now Tabitov's recovered, though. I mean, he's not feeling great, but he's not as hurt as he was just 30 seconds ago.
Two big shots then from Kanikov. Oh, and his level changing again, working that body. He's picked his target now.
Oh, yep. That knee has found its home early. He has to figure out, he either needs to not back his hips up and make this traditional clinch. This isn't a wrestling match totally. I mean, you're using the disciplines, but guys...
He's dropped him again with that knee.
It's because he keeps backing his hips out.
And now takes the back as well. Lovely transition, very smooth. One hook in.
I really feel that Kanikov's aggressiveness actually is kind of prolonging and saving and giving opportunities for Tabitov to recover. A couple of these shots that he's landed, had he backed up and the referee saw that Tabitov would not be able to answer the call, it could have been the end.
And now he's moving forward again. You're right, it's not like he's smothering his work, as in he's not able to still control the fight, but he's smothering his damage, isn't he? He's allowing...
You're right, great term, he's smothering his damage.
But Tabitov hard as nails. If you are a combat sambo champion, one of the most grueling sports.
See there, he has a freestyle clinch. That's a freestyle type of manual posture that he has, and it's giving space for Kanikov to fire that knee right up. He needs to go into more of a Greco style, hips in, tie clinch style of clinch work. Even if it does make him susceptible to the takedown, he needs to somehow come up with an answer to that knee. And then if the knee fires up, one, he'll smother it, and two, he'll be in a better position to catch it and run Kanikov over and make him pay for that knee, and possibly then make it shut it down.
Still 1 minute, 20 seconds left in this first round.
There, he backs his hips up again. That's just his grappling and jiu-jitsu background. And that's where sometimes the different disciplines, you're only having to worry about certain aspects of the game that here you have to be aware of. So right now, you know, keeping your hips low in a great stance, I mean, that's great for a freestyle.
Oh, he's dropped him again. Now he's on time, shot trying to rain those punches. Tabitov's inviting him in, that's where he wants it. This is where Kanikov needs to step back. And across the solar plexus, that midriff of Tabitov, you can see 3 or 4 big welts. .30 seconds left. It's knocked out Tabitov's power as well, though.
That's the definition of working someone's body. He has landed some devastating shots to the midsection of Tabitov, who is just has mental fortitude in leaps and bounds. That it's not like a headshot. Those don't hurt according to the definition of hurt. I mean, they hurt you, knock you out, but it's not. It's painful. I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
Your
body shots, oh, they're crushing. You can't take a deep breath. It drives the fight out of you. You see again, he's backing his hips away. He's splaying over with that overhook, which stops throws, but he's exposing himself to the knees. Here again, saved by the fact that he pulled back. I feel that if Kanikov would have stood him up, there, just good job of picking his shots, keeping back out of the range.
Great performance there by Kanikov in that first round. Corner doing some work on Tabitov. There's a cut over the right eye there. I didn't notice that at the end of the fight. Taking some time on his stool, the doctor checking this one. The doctor's checking it, they're looking closely.
Fight's done.
They're calling it. There we go. I need to see that as far as it's right above, it's right on the eyebrow. There's a lot of blood, we can see there's a lot of blood coming out of it. But let's see if we can see from the camera angle where this cut is sitting.
Yeah, and that looks like it's dropping blood directly into the eyes.
And that just becomes dangerous, doesn't it? If you take a fighter's eye away in the sight.
You can't fight blind. It would just be a recipe for disaster and it's really endanger the health of a guy.
And it could open up even more with the sort of shots that Kanikov was playing on him.
Great clinic of just MMA, able to land shots, move over. And on top of that, though,
wow. What a performance there. And that is a big cut. We look at that now. That's almost split 3 ways across his eyebrow.
Well, as great as Kanikov looked, very impressed with Tapatov. His ability to just, those knees he was taking and surviving is just, says a lot about what his future could be in the sport.
Because, yeah, like you said, the big punches, the big shots, whether you take to the leg, the head, your mind, you can get over those, yes. But when you get those body shots, your body fails you.
And when you recover, if you take a big shot and you recover from it, there really is no more left. You know, you recover and you're okay. You don't feel that throughout the fight. You never fully recover from a hard body shot.
Yeah.
It takes something out of you. You'll get some back, but you never fully recover all the way. Then the next shot takes a little bit more out of you.
Добрый вечер, Душанбе. Спасибо большое за теплый прием. Ребятам хочу отдельно сказать большое спасибо, Дилшок, за то, что хорошо приняли. Приезжайте к нам теперь на родину. Хочу поблагодарить в первую очередь организаторов за этот турнир. Потом хочу поблагодарить клуб «Стрела», Москва, за то, что дали сборы, очень хорошие, результативные. Хочу передать большой привет всей Сибири. Сейчас ребята все болеют за меня. Алтайский край, поселок Сибирский, город Новоалтайск. Мой спортивный клуб 1 на 1. Хочу пожелать всем ребятам, чтобы достигали своих целей, несмотря ни на что. Все, занимайтесь спортом, будьте сильными.
Денис Канаков. Барнаул, Россия. Дамы и господа, Лига ACB при поддержке Dora Fight представляет вам главное событие сегодняшнего вечера. 3-раундовый поединок в полулегком весе. Ваше внимание на экран.
Готовился под Абдурахмана, значит, он будет в хорошей форме. И я рад, что мне дали именно такого соперника. Я рад любому сопернику, если он готов к бою. Я думаю, Валденис Сильва будет готов, и мы покажем хороший бой.
Нет никаких проблем, что соперник поменялся за короткий срок. Мои тренера знают, как меня подготовить. Я готов встретиться абсолютно с любым.
Хороший боец, находится на хорошем месте в рейтингах. Я думаю, он покажет достойный бой. Я надеюсь на это, по крайней мере, в других боях он хорошо себя показывал. Я думаю, мы покажем хороший бой.
Изначально мы готовились под соперника менее активного, чем мой нынешний. Но в зале мне часто приходится тренироваться с такими парнями. Не думаю, что его активность станет для меня новинкой.
Я работал в каждом аспекте, и мы готовы ко всему. Если суждено выиграть, то, иншаллах, я выиграю этот бой.
Перед моим предыдущим поединком у меня были некоторые проблемы в тренировках. Я не стал отказываться и вышел на бой. Будь у меня шанс на реванш, вы бы увидели совсем другого меня.
4-го я выйду и покажу все, что я готовил, кто бы не был в октагоне со мной. Я постараюсь показать все, что я готовил в тренировке.
И в синий угол добро пожаловать, боец из Бразилии. Please welcome to the blue corner from Brazil, Valdenis Silva.
So here we welcome another Brazilian to the cage, Valdine Silva, taking on Yusuf Raisov. But this is a match that only got put together yesterday. Late replacements for each other. They were both on the card with different opponents. They both spent their camp preparing for different opponents. And then yesterday at the weigh-ins, their opponents couldn't make it for various reasons. And now they've been rematched to take each other on. So they've only had 24 hours to reset their mindset for a completely different body and a completely different challenge. I mean, what do you have to do mentally to get over that and to shake off your last opponent, the person you've been going to bed thinking about just before you fall asleep, to now someone brand new?
The first thing you have to do is stop not wanting to be in the situation. I've been in camps and been in corners and been around fighters that comes up, a change or any kind of circumstances that you have no control over, really. I mean, you accept the fight or you don't. But they seem to not be able to get past that. They keep worrying about the fact that their guy didn't make weight or they had a change of opponent. The sooner you just switch gears and realize the situation is what it is and move forward, that's the first step. Then it's just addressing what your opponent brings to the table, what realistically you can adapt, and what you've got to accept that you're not going to be able to. There's certain things you're like, well, I didn't prepare for this for the last 8 weeks. What can I really do and focus on right now to be most productive for my mindset and not also be consumed about things you can't control. Once again, going into that mindset where you go, well, I've been training for a wrestler, now I'm fighting a guy who's, left-handed and twice as tall as a right-handed guy I was about to face. Well, we can't worry about it no more. What are you able to actually control and do and focus and keep yourself basically just sniper focused on that?
Valdines makes his way into the cage. An exciting prospect. 13 of his 14 wins by finish. And only his last 2 losses in the last 4 years come to Magomed Sharipov, our former featherweight champion, and Thomas Almeida, the UFC monster. And next up, Yusuf Boz Raisov. Boz means the wolf. And he says he unleashes that in the cage. We got to witness at ACB 50, one of the fights of the year, him versus Marat Balayev for that featherweight title. A tough battle for him. Got dominated, got controlled. He said in his post-fight interview, he felt very early on that Balayev had the better of him, was a better fighter, but there was no quitting him. And that's one thing you cannot teach. You can train people great technique, you can train people in strength and conditioning, but that heart that he showed there, and it was all summed up by in the last round where he almost caught Balayev in that armbar. And that shows what sort of fighter we got here. And he said, I haven't changed anything. Before that I was winning 9 fights in a row. My camps were good, I felt good. That fight, I was just beaten by a better man. He's gone back, he trains with the same people, his brother in his corner there. And what an exciting fighter. We're going to get to see how he copes with that first loss of his career. Now mentally against Valdines here at ACB 50.
Raisov is a very impressive fighter, skilled. I saw no technical holes in his game whatsoever in the last matchup. He just fought a guy in Balayev that would not be denied. But Raisov as a young fighter showed such resilience that as skilled as he is, I was even more impressed with his resilience.
3 5-minute rounds, featherweight contest. Представляю вам соперников и первого бойца в синем углу. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Ему 29 лет, рост 175 сантиметров, вес 66,3 килограмма. 29 years old, he stands 175 centimeters tall, official weight 66.3 kilos. Профессиональный рекорд 20 боев, 14 побед, 6 поражений. His professional record 20 bouts, 14 victories and 6 losses. Дамы и господа, ladies and gentlemen, his style is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, representing Nata Brazil, Valdines Silva! Его соперник в красном углу. Ему 21 год, рост 175 сантиметров, вес 66,3 килограмма, с профессиональным рекордом 10 боев, 9 побед и только одно поражение. Его стиль ММА, дамы и господа, из Грозного, Россия, встречайте, Юсуф Борс Райса! Рефери поединка.
You know rules, listen my command all the time, if I say stop, it's stop. Okay, show clean fight, shook your hands. Go for it.
So we are set for our co-main event here, and I've got tingles thinking about how this one will unfold. I doubt there'll be much of a feeling out process. Silver in the blue corner, Yusuf in the red. And we are off.
Did you ever get a chance after the fight to ask Rasev what he was doing with his foot?
I was about to say the same thing, not the same thing, but I just saw him do something similar in the corner there where he was stretching out his ankles. I didn't actually get that opportunity, but there was something going on in that fight, and while he was doing his pacing backwards and forwards, he was doing a similar stretch, putting the top of his foot on the ground and leaning forwards. It was like hyperextending the ankle, the heel. Nice body shot there from Yusuf. Both these fighters' last fights were for the 145-pound title here at ACB.
Nice pull.
Nice body shot as well there. Silver fought Zabit Magomed Sharipov. And Yusuf fought Balayev and ends up on top, but in the guard of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Silva took a shot, but Yusuf easily pulled his arms up off the legs, pulled him up into around the waist, where his hips were in a dominant position of power, and instead of backing out of it, Silva decided to go ahead and utilize the fact that he has a lot of confidence in his guard and pulled guard. Now he's stepping on the hip, looking like he's going to try to rotate for that arm, but instead opted out.
Well, big shots there coming down from Yusuf. He's got a lot of power, this young man. Talks about his frame. He's at featherweight at the minute, but he said there will be a point I will have to go off. My body's still growing. I'm only 21 years old.
There's not a lot of argument for him losing any fat at this point.
Muscles on muscles. Looking to throw up this triangle. Yusuf turns into side control.
Use that knee on the ribs. See if he uses it to drive forward for a mount. If he can get that underhook, it'll make it safer. Now he stepped back out, holding side control. Made a poor decision to step over, but identified it and came back into the side control with now his left shin just stretching out. And now he has a good beat-down position, which is forcing,
potentially. This will be huge if he can finish the Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Look at this. Still heavy taps. Oh my goodness.
That's impressive.
What a statement here. Coming off the back of that loss, we were asking the question, how will he respond?
That he's not happy about.
Oh, still not happy. So he's talking about an eye poke, I believe, maybe in the desperation of trying to escape. That's what happened, but what a performance, what a finish. Got that beat down position and gets a great response from the crowd. Got that beat down position, and from there, when Valdines moved, he took the back. Let's have a look at it now.
He was inside the guard, rained down some punishment, forced the guard to be opened. From there, was able to pass over, used the beat down to get the mount, stepped off of it, grabbed a head and arm choke, and squeezed. And Silva had no recourse but to tap.
And a statement made. And looks like he could go another 3 rounds.
Рефери поединка Виктор Корнеев остановил бой через 2 минуты и 29 секунд первого раунда. Ladies and gentlemen, your referee judge Victor Korneev stopped this contest in the 2 minutes and 29 seconds of round number 1. Удушающим приемом победу одержал and your winner by submission victory, Yusuf Borsa.
Great performance there, and great to see that any aggression has now been taken away from that moment.
Yusuf, вы победитель.
алейкум. Огромное спасибо за такую поддержку. Я очень рад выступать здесь. Огромное спасибо руководству лиги. Огромное спасибо всем таджикам.
Юсуф Парс Раиса. Итак, уважаемые дамы и господа, наступил момент, который вы все так долго ждали. Лига ACB при поддержке Door of Fight представляет вам главное событие сегодняшнего вечера. Трехраундовый бой в полусреднем весе. Ваше внимание на экран.
Меня уже рассматривают на потенциального, да, там, претендента на титульный бой. Ну, из нашего поединка уже, скорее всего, да, там сложится, что большой шанс на титульный бой.
Честно говоря, я думал, что нет тут другого соперника. Думал, это будет Бен Алви. Мои менеджеры сказали, что Алви травмировался и вместе него будет Шараф. Сразу же согласились на это было, потому что Шараф выиграл Бена, и он по рейтингу выше стоит. Мне такие бои нужны.
Мухаммад сильный, быстрый, молодой, перспективный. Думаю, у нас с ним равные шансы, да? Победа будет за тем, кто больше тренировался, ну и кому дарует Всевышний, да? Моя задача была только подготовиться, а результат уже зависит не от меня.
Для меня нет разницы, где выступать. У него дома, у меня дома, в любом месте, как говорится, буду драться как у себя дома.
Я устрою только праздник, буду заряженный полностью на 100% эмоционально. И устрою только большой праздник дома. Тем более у нас сейчас идет Ноуруз, да, это большой праздник для нашего народа. Думаю, это не зря все так сложилось по воле Всевышнего.
Итак, в синий угол добро пожаловать боец из России. Встречайте, Мухаммед Верхамов!
So we are set for our main event here, and what a main event it is. Mohammed Verkhamov making his way to the cage now, an undefeated fighter, and every single stage of his ACB career they've thrown questions at him. Last fight was against Jesse Taylor. He was massively outsized, hugely on the experience front matched as well, but went through that fight, cut through Jesse Taylor, and managed to get the submission finish in the first round, which has earned him this headline fight. As a prospect and as somebody who's not huge for this division, this is an exciting fighter to see coming into this cage right now, isn't it?
Very slick guy, very young, but at the same time, very complete. You say in that fight with Jesse Taylor, fighting a guy who's very veteran, very big, very strong, and it made it look like that he was the veteran. Came out there, was able to, in a quick scramble, Jesse shot it on the legs. He took the guillotine, and Jesse had no opportunity but just to tap. It was razor sharp and quickly, too. Muhammad is a very impressive fighter.
This fight is very calm demeanor there, a fast starter as well, 7 first-round finishes. Interestingly enough, after one of his wins a couple of fights ago, he called out Sergey Kahandoshko. He asked for that fight in Moscow, I believe. And that's interesting as this fight comes around, because the fighter he's taking on, Sharaf Davlatmaradov, is one of Sergey's best friends and main training partners, so I'm sure Sharaf was itching to get this bout.
В красный угол добро пожаловать боец, представляющий Таджикистан и Россию. Встречайте, Шарaf Davlatmaradov!
And next to the cage, Sharaf Devlet Muradov. His last fight, ATP 49. Before his fight, he spoke to me. He said, "There's a card in Tajikistan coming up next year. I want to be part of it." He was born in Tajikistan, lived most of his life in Russia, but listen to that reception. This means the world to him, coming back here and headlining. It's what dreams are made of, coming back to your home country and headlining a fight in front of your home crowd.
And truly, I mean, nothing really inspires a group of people to come watch a fight than having somebody from their hometown, somebody that they can relate to that's one of their own, essentially, to support and come behind. And you've seen that make leaps and bounds in different areas. I mean, Canada got on board when Georges St. Pierre became a force. Ireland, so kind of a fan of MMA right now because of one man in particular, and that's Conor McGregor. And now you see here, everybody's excited. You know, Tajikistan, you know, is very happy to have somebody they can call their own stepping in here, who's a real legitimate mixed martial artist, who tonight, really, one of these guys is going to emerge as a super contender for the title.
And another fighter that I love the backstory to as well. He's not just your average fighter, he holds 3 degrees. He's got a degree in engineering, he's a fully qualified lawyer, and he has a degree to teach engineering. And alongside that, he is also an active soldier in the military as well. So lives his life to the full. Not just a brawler, not just somebody, but an academic as well. And a real ambassador for the sport. Both these fighters are both young, both carry themselves very well, and both carry the sport as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment you have been waiting for. ACB League is association with Dobrov Fight, proud to present the main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds, welterweight contest. Главный судья, main judge, Ахмед Байсултанов. Судьи у клетки, Магомед Магомедов и Роман Жолобов. Ваш судья, хронометрист, your timekeeper, Давлат Абдул-Заде. И с ударом гонга ваш рефери в клетке. And when the bell rings, your referee judge, Ашот Ашукан. Итак, дамы и господа на трибунах, миллионы фанатов смешанных единоборств во всем мире в прямом эфире на телеканале Бокс ТВ. С арены государственного цирка Таджикистана главный бой вечера! Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and the millions of MMA fans around the world, live from National Cirque Arena of Tajikistan, the main bout of the evening. Представляю вам соперников. И первый бойца в синем углу. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Ему 23 года. Рост 180 сантиметров, вес 77,3 килограмма. 23 years old, he stands 180 centimeters tall, official weight 77.3 kilograms. Его профессиональный рекорд не знает поражений. 10 боев, 10 побед. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу. His professional record, 10 bouts, 10 victories, no losses. His style at Brazilian jiu-jitsu, представляющий Баксан, Россия, Мохаммед Перхамов. И его соперник в красном углу. And his opponent fighting under the red corner. Бойцу 24 года. Рост 180 сантиметров, вес 77,6 килограмма. 24 years old, he stands 180 centimeters tall, official weight 77.6 kilograms. Профессиональный рекорд также без поражений. 11 боев, 11 побед. His professional record also undefeated. 11 pounds, 11 victories. Его стиль ММА, дамы и господа, из Барнаула, представляющий Россию и Таджикистан, встречайте Шараф Давлатмурзадов!
Бойцы на середине. Внимательно слушаем, после команды «Стоп» не работаем. Все действия по правилам, все знаете. Пожали руки. Удачи.
Here we go.
Не знающих поражений, но из клетки победителем выйдет только один.
Oh, ring announcer Alexander Zadovsky, you're doing a great job all night yet again. But we are set for our main event. Berkamov. Again, something going on with the match there just before we start. Berkamov in the blue corner. Sharaf Davlatmuradov in the red. We talked about Ibrahim, the matchmaker, not putting any easy fights on for any of their up-and-coming stars. This is two of their up-and-coming stars matched. Somebody's own will go. Big kick there. Sharaf looking for the takedown early.
Well, he was able to reach that far ankle and grabbed it off the single to drop him down. Very efficient way to finish that shot. Basically a sweep single, essentially the finishing of it. Well, now he's got the guillotine locked up. Oh, he's got to drive his chest down and his hips forward.
There we go, they did a little do-si-do for us there just to get started. They come off switching stances, southpaw here at the minute. Nice body shot from Sharaf. Interesting to see him take Berkamov down. We've seen the dangerous jiu-jitsu game Berkamov's got. And if anything, Berkamov looks to be the bigger fighter in this fight compared to him in other contests. Sharaf again looking to clinch. A good chunk of his camp out of Thailand. Top Team Phuket. Edward Vartanyan was out there as well. Sergey Honda, one of his main training partners. Brendan Loughnane was out there. Andrew DeVence as well. Took the trip out to Thailand. So a real mat of killers, all looking to peak around the same time. At the start, I was thinking we would get out of Sharaf.
Ooh, beautiful drag. Drop down to the single.
Did he just trap the right arm there, is that?
He did. He turned the corner, an arm drag essentially. He didn't use it to finish the takedown, but used it to expose the hip and was able to get in on the legs of Sharaf.
Butterfly hooks in for Sharaf. The Tajikistan crowd here, willing on their hometown fighter.
Sharaf is doing a good job using the butterfly hooks effectively. You have to keep pressure to keep him attached. So that way when your opponent tries to back his legs out, tries to move, he's essentially, his leg is still stuck. He can't step back far enough. And if he does too far, you can use him to elevate. And now that moment you're going to be looking for a post. But honestly, it's hard to sweep with the butterfly guard where Sharaf is right now, because you're really going to be bringing the guy at 45-degree angles over your shoulders. Well, the cage is there, so it makes it really a hard feat. Instead, usually guys use the butterfly guard here to push off, create room to get a stand-up.
Big shots from Berkamov coming down. He's cut open Sharaf. That is a huge cut on the forehead. The referee's already asked for the doctor. We'll be looking at that. Big cut right on the hairline there of Sharaf.
Sharaf is trying to lock up a deep half-guard type hold there on the legs, going underneath. But because Muhammad has his right leg, Sharaf's right leg trapped with an underhook with his left arm, he's not going to be able to dip underneath or rotate back up. And really, holding on is only getting him to receive more punishment. And he's trapping his left arm. It's no longer of use to him.
Going for the knee bar now, trying to switch it up.
Now he can go for that heel hook. But the other leg of Muhammad needs to be trapped in some way to compromise his balance. Otherwise, he's going to establish position here and rain down some heavy leather and some more elbows.
Oh, he's looking. Is it a calf slicer or something?
I think he was just grabbing onto something, to be honest with you. But I could be wrong. I mean, obviously submission is known.
Listen to the crowd getting behind Sharaf. Lots of blood coming out there. Muhammad, his face is painted, and Sharaf's responded by getting to his feet and shaking off
where the blood could now work against Muhammad. He's cut his opponent, but now he's underneath the bend. All that blood's going in his face and in his eyes, compromising his view his, breathing gets thrown off a little bit as you have, liquid dripping down on your face.
Big elbow there from the bottom, but Sharaf is painting this canvas and his opponent with that head, with the cut on the head. Lots of work for the doctor to do it. That is a huge cut. That is, I'll be interested to see the doctors have a look at this.
Great exchange there. Here you see that Sharaf has that single, used the shin on his own thigh to leverage him up, drop down, was able to sweep the fight and get the ankle. Here, just using some dirty boxing, used the shoulder to bump in the clinch. Great top position control from Muhammad. It was able to really land a significant elbow from on top that there's going to have a significance throughout this fight.
It's already having significance. The doctor has had a look at it now. They're working on that cut. Deep breath for Muhammad, who's wearing the blood of his opponent there, looking across the cage to see how he's doing. We are set for this second round to take place.
Sometimes I don't make sense. You never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you. It's just to hear me out.
Final bit of work there done by the cut man in the corner of Sharaf Davlatmuradov. The crowd.
I mean, right now it's not bleeding, but the first contact, it's going to open right up again.
Look how much. Oh, big body kick from Sharaf there. Welcome up in the blue corner, Sharaf in the red corner. They were both red a minute ago.
Let's see if Muhammad looks.
Watch out for this guillotine now, but no.
Well, and right now he's actually in a great position for what I'm about to say next. He wants to be able to open that cut up again as soon as possible. And now he could be in a position to go ahead and throw an elbow from the bottom and try to wipe off whatever the doctor's done, the Vaseline, to close up the hold, possibly reopen it again. Well, he's actually using Muhammad almost had a lasso guard without the gi. He was able to step over the bicep like a bicep slicer, but used it for control, and was able to put both hands on the other arm. That was pretty impressive work from the bottom there, using jiu-jitsu.
Very, very dangerous jiu-jitsu player. But as the blood starts to come out of the head of Sharaf now, making them slippier and slippier, so those constricted moves are now...
That chipping elbow right there. Now he's trying over an armbar.
Oh, and he swung him around. Look at that. Wow. Threatened with the armbar. Sharaf rolled into it and ended up on top. Only 1 minute 40 of this round gone so far.
Sharaf driving forward right now. It keeps the very hard for Muhammad to stand up, but makes him susceptible to being swept or submission. Now he has more of a neutral posture. Make it easier if an armbar attempt starts to occur, or if he loses control of Muhammad's hips, he'll be able to posture up and pull away from anything tight wrapping around his arms.
Short work going in from Sharaf, keeping active on top.
That's an unusual grip that he has with the hand there. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with it.
Second time he's throwing it up, it looks like he's trying to trap that right
Well,
arm.
I think he's going to fake for that and go for the other arm. Yep. He's got his hips out,
this.
blocked it up. Now it's the other arm.
And now he's rolling. Oh, he's tapping. He did tap.
Wow, that was slick.
Look,
wow, that was slick.
He had the grip on... explain that to me. He
put two hands on the one, used his rib cage and his left basically tricep to trap the right arm of Sharaf, and then rotated out and basically then once he popped the leg over the head, had the arm bar. He set it up by putting both hands on the one, then once he jumped over, the arm was so deep, and by the time that was the first rotation, he was very close there, but Sharaf was able to roll forward and avoid the head being trapped. Here we see the setup for the second one.
Here we go.
That's the finishing of it. He had him there.
He definitely tapped there.
Oh, no doubt.
Referee on top of that. No complaints from Sharaf as well. But what excellent display of jiu-jitsu once again.
He had some interesting handles from the bottom.
A stunning display from Berkamov. Yet again showing how dangerous he is from the bottom. What an amazing jiu-jitsu game he's got. And he's just taken out Sharaf Davlatmuradov, which is no mean feat. We've been treated to some amazing fights here, some amazing technique.